started here. You can keep yourself on mute and your camera off while I do some introductions and kick things off here.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm trying. I'm sorry. Hello?
Yep, if you can go ahead and put yourself on mute and turn your camera off, I'll kick things off here.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Leslie Freehill. I'm Deputy Legal Counsel to Governor Evers. I'm going to introduce my fellow board members this morning, and then we're going to go over some housekeeping about how the hearing will run, and then we'll get started hearing from all of you. With us today is board member Anthony Cooper Sr., who is the CEO of Focused Interruption, an organization dedicated to interrupting the devastating cycle of gun violence with the help of the community. He received a pardon from Governor Evers in January 2021. We have board member Reverend Jerry Hancock, who will be joining us shortly. He's the director of the Prison Ministry Project. He previously served as a public defender, deputy district attorney, and an administrator for the Department of Justice's Division of Law Enforcement Services. We also have board member Professor Eric Liberator, who teaches paralegal studies from around the world who teaches paralegal students from around the world in University of Cincinnati's online program. He previously served as a supervising attorney at Disability Rights Wisconsin, where he focused on public benefits eligibility and in the governor's office. And finally, we have board member Nadia Perez Reyes, who is the Deputy Secretary for the Department of Children and Families. She previously worked as a state public defender and as an attorney for Legal Action of Wisconsin. With that, we'll go over a couple of tips about how the hearing will run before we get going. Please, first of all, keep in mind that this hearing is being live streamed on YouTube and recorded. Please mute yourself and keep your video off until it is your turn, so we can focus on the person presenting and ensure audio and visual quality. If you run into IT issues, don't worry. Somebody from our staff will give you a call and the board will return to your hearing once we've resolved the issue. Otherwise, we will call people up in the order listed on the open meetings notice that you should have received. Each applicant will have about 5 minutes to share your story, with about 3 minutes up front to answer the questions we sent in advance of the meeting. As a reminder, those questions are, first, a brief summary of your offenses and how your sentence went. Second, a brief summary of what you have done since the completion of your sentence, including community involvement and employment, where you're at now and how your life is different than at the time of your offense. And third, a brief statement about why you think you should receive a pardon. The board may or may not ask you questions about your application. Please don't read too much into this either way, as we have spent quite a bit of time with your materials already. If we do have questions, however, we would like to have time to ask those of you. Once the board is done asking questions, you're welcome to sign off and leave the Zoom hearing. Once everyone is heard, the board will meet in closed session to decide whether to recommend your application to the governor. You need majority support of the board members present in order for your application to be forwarded to the governor, who will make the final decision on whether or not to grant your pardon application. Either way, you should be notified in about a month or two from today. We know that you've waited quite a while to get to this moment, and we appreciate your additional patience as we get those recommendations to the governor. So with that, we're going to get underway with our first applicant of the morning, Riley Lucius. Riley, if you could turn on your camera and your audio, and I will give you the floor.
Good morning. My name is Riley Lucius Sr. Thanks for granting me this opportunity to come before the pardon board. I committed a crime in 1975 for the charge of burglary party to a crime. It was wrong for what I had done. I apologize for what I had done. I deeply, deeply regret it from the bottom of my heart. I was charged with burglary party to a crime, and a sentence was a year confinement and 5 years probation, which I completed it. Sentence with 5 year probation, which I completed it. In 1989, I was charged in Waukesha for carrying the gun with being a felony, which I thought it was okay for me to have a gun because I purchased it legally. The shooter shop in West Dallas gave me 72 hours to come back. He said he'll call me and let me know if it's okay for me to come pick the gun up. So he called me and told me it was okay. My clearance background went okay. So I went and picked the gun up and I put it in the glove compartment and I went to work. At night, when I got off of work, I was stopped because of broken headlight. And then I presented the papers to him showing that I had legally purchased the gun. And then he came back and told me it was illegal for me to have the gun being convicted of a felony. Since then, I had changed my life around. I changed my life around. I'm not the same person I was. I'm a man now. I was a kid then. I'm a man now with principle, morals, values, and integrity. I got married and had a child. And since then, I raised him. And then from then, I went to truck driving school in 1992 to be a truck driver. And I've been driving ever since. The reason why I'm seeking a pardon is because I'm not the same person I was before. I'm a grown man now with, like I said, with different perspective on life. I made a mistake and I admit to my mistake. I wish I could go back and turn it around so this would have never happened. I've never been in trouble before until now. And I'm nervous to talk to you guys because this ain't what I do. You know, I'm kind of bad when it comes down to speaking in front of people. A partner will help me be able to increase my revenue and be able to go into Canada and be able to go to the port to get freight, deliver freight and pick up freight and haul hazmat material. I would like to get this pardon because it's a dark cloud over my head to carry a whole lot of weight that I regret every day I think about it. So I'm actually hoping the pardon board will understand. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Mr. Lucius. Now I'll open it up to questions from the board members. I guess I'll kick things off then. Could you describe the circumstances of your 1975 felony, the burglary party to a crime?
What happened is I was working. I had just moved from Indiana to Wisconsin, and I was new to the neighborhood. My mother, my grandmother, and my four siblings and I started school, high school, and I started working at a gas station part-time. And then I ended up I was working hard at the gas station, then I ended up dropping school out. Then I came to work full-time because they needed help full-time. So I was honest and I worked hard and I did the best I could do. And the boss told me I came up short, so he fired me, he terminated me. Then I thought it was wrong for what I had done, what he had done. And I asked him the reason why. He just told me that I came up short. So I got kind of upset behind that. And I ended up meeting some people on my block that I hadn't never knew before. And I told them my situation. I had got fired. And so they encouraged me to go get revenge. And I knew better, but I would listen to them. I was encouraged and they would seem like it was going to be okay. So I ended up going back up to the gas station. They broke in the gas station while I watched them break in there. And then I didn't help by not calling, by bagging up. I stayed there because it was new to me, you know, from being from Indiana. I had never been in trouble in the past. Then I ended up got myself in a precious situation. And it was a gun involved. And they got the gas station, got the gas, all the cigarettes and the gun out of the gas station. And I was charged with, I think they said something like endanger safety, I think. And I wish I could take that night back, and but it had never happened before. But I was vulnerable being a young man and not having the right discipline was coming up, but it came from anger, it came from being fired. If I never was fired, this would have never happened. And I was new, like I said, to a whole new area that I never been out of town before, coming from Indiana.
Thank you. And did you say the gas station was closed at the time, or were
Yeah,
there people present?
it was closed at the time.
Thank you. Are there other questions from the board members? Okay, well, thank you for your time, Mr. Lucius. You are free to sign off the Zoom now, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you for your time too. I appreciate it.
Okay, this morning our next applicant is Joe Langford. Mr. Langford, are you here?
Yes.
Okay, great. If you're able to turn on your camera, I'll give you the floor.
Yes. Good morning. How y'all doing? I've been convicted of felon from I think from '96 to like I have like five felonies from '96 to like 2005. I mean, I made some poor decisions. Having possession of marijuana. You know, I think I had a problem. That was my whole situation. But I got myself away from that, and doing from that since I went to patient, thing I did was like time in a couple months in isolation. I think that gave me time to think about it. Since I got out in 2006, I done volunteered in the community.
Mr. Langford, could you move a little bit closer to your microphone? It's hard to hear you.
Okay. Since 2006, can you hear me now? Okay, since 2006, since that case, my last case, I have been a volunteer in the community. I volunteered. I was a coordinator for a football team. I did that for like 4 years. I played for a Milwaukee kickball league, volunteering, and I coached for a Milwaukee Beckham uh, baseball league. So that's a little stuff that I've been doing in the community. And since then, I've been working. Back then, I wasn't working when I was catching those little cases. I wasn't doing no work, and I was just out here, wasn't doing anything. But now, since then, I've been working. I worked at the school bus company for 7 years. Since I've been not doing that, I've been at a Pfizer Farm working security, and then I work for the city of Milwaukee. I've been with both jobs for 4 years. So I salute myself with that, and I appreciate it. Uh, since that, I think that I deserve. I think I should get. I mean, I'm asking for a second chance and trying to get these felonies off my name. And yeah, I'm a little nervous.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but thank you, Mr. Langford. Are there any other questions from the board? Eric.
Good morning, Mr. Langford. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. I appreciate that in your application you mentioned having a son with the same name. Did see those records, but there were some arrests after your last conviction that seemed to be associated with you rather than with your son, and I was hoping you could clarify those. So the first one, and I want to be clear, these don't lead to any convictions or anything like that, but there was a 2013 arrest for 2 felonies, felony strangulation and suffocation, as well as felony failure to act. Is there anything you could tell the board about that arrest?
I'm trying to see. You said when was that?
2013.
2013. I can't recall. Is it a name on it? Is that Glendolyn or something? Is it a person name on there?
No, so it's in your background check.
Oh, okay. Because I'm trying to see. Because if that was, I don't recall it. I'm unaware. I don't recall it.
Okay. And then the next one is in 2019. It looks like a misdemeanor battery, and then maybe second-degree recklessly endangering safety, as well as take vehicle without consent. And again, this doesn't lead to any convictions.
Yes.
Do you recall that one? Okay.
Yes, I do recall that one. Yes, it was some. Me and my lady had an altercation, and we was it was all on her behalf, but it ended up I pulled off because I was trying to leave myself out of the position of getting myself in more trouble. So that's what happened. I left with the car.
Okay. And then the last one is in 2020. There's an arrest for felony child abuse. And again, doesn't lead to a conviction or anything like that.
Oh, yes, that was with my daughter. It got through out. It was my daughter was false information. So it dropped it. It was dismissed.
All right. Thank you for your answers.
Yes, sir.
Reverend Hancock, did you have additional questions?
Yeah, Mr. Langford, you had some really positive letters from your supervisors at the city of Milwaukee. Are you still working there? And if so, what are you doing with the city of Milwaukee?
Yes, sir. I still do work there. I've been there for 4 years. I do the sanitation. I drive garbage trucks.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Any final questions? Okay, well, thank you for your time, Mr. Langford. You are free to sign off the Zoom.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen to me.
Okay, our next applicant this morning is Brian Morphew. Brian, are you there? Okay, and you're muted, but if you unmute, I will give you the floor.
See me now? Everything's good? Hi, my name is Brian Morphew. I was arrested in 1995 on November 17th. I was, hold on, I got my cards mixed up. Give me a second. 11/17/95, I was arrested and I was sentenced on 5/22/96 for possession with intent to deliver marijuana, cocaine, and also delivery or manufacture of THC. I did an 8-year sentence. I did 3 years, a little over 3 years on my sentence. It was a stupid thing to do. I'm sorry for what I did. I was a younger man back then and I didn't use common sense. I wasn't addicted to any drugs. I was addicted to the fast money I was getting from selling the drugs. And it was a stupid thing to do. And I went to prison. I did a lot of thinking. I knew I had to change my environment when I got out. So I decided to move to my sister's in Colorado, away from everybody. I didn't know anybody in Colorado other than my sister, and start my life over. Prison was like a wake-up call for me. I joined, as soon as I got to Colorado, I joined the Carpenters Union, which I decided to be a good field for me because I was passionate about it. Did the apprenticeship, I had a 4-year apprenticeship I completed in less than 3 years. And I started working in the union right away. I made good money, and I've been working there the entire time I've been out. I work 40 to 80 hours a week. I invested in fix and flips. I've done buildings of houses. I built 3 houses on my own. I'm invested in IRAs, Roth IRAs, stocks, land, and even coins, which I've done really well on all those things. I've also built up a large amount of money in my pension and as well as my annuity, and I could easily retire anytime I choose. I'm kind of a workaholic though. As far as community act stuff I've done, I've built numerous commercial buildings throughout Denver. I've worked in all the hospitals. I've built a lot of schools. I actually just completed this past weekend the governor's office at the Capitol building. We just finished that up on Sunday. I've donated to the Treasure Thrift Store, which is a single mom's place in Parker, Colorado, where single moms could pick up whatever they need, household stuff, furniture, and etc. I also have donated stuff to the ARC Thrift Store, which is a Down syndrome place for Down syndrome people. It's a foundation that all the proceeds go to Down syndrome, and they could use it for like Special Olympics and other events for them. I hired a person when I was building one of my houses straight out of prison. He wasn't really qualified as much as some of their applicants, but I wanted to help him out. I gave him a place to live. I had another cabin that he could stay in, and he helped me get to the dried-in station of the dried-in part of the house. And I gave him clothes and I paid him a salary. I've also saw another person that was a subcontractor when I was working that had been homeless before, got a good job, but he was living in a bad situation. He really didn't have anything, but I told him he should move out and get an apartment. And I'd help him furnish it, which I did, because I had sold a house. One of my Airbnb houses I sold, and I had a bunch of furniture and household stuff, so I furnished his house and got him on his feet. I also helped all my neighbors from time to time, shoveling snow, cutting trees, fixing their garage. I did a lot of remodels on a lot of my neighbors' houses. And tried to help people if they got stuck in the snow. I've tried to help them, pull them out with log chains and fix their garage when it was broken. And I even brought trees from work one time, and I gave all the neighbors trees and I helped them plant them because I got them free. As far as why I think I deserve a pardon, I think I've been a productive part of society. I went from nothing to really successful in investing in my career. If I were granted a pardon, it would be a dream for me and my family to be able to go to Canada and I could show them that part of the world. Thank you for your time. I hope you could see that I'm not the person I was over 3 decades ago. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Morphew. Are there questions from the board?
Sure.
Anthony, let's start with you.
I was just wondering, Ms. Morphew, do you happen to own any firearms?
I don't own any firearms.
Yeah, okay. Just kind of going through, end up seeing some other social media pictures of you. It seems as though that you were hunting. And so
Was
just
hunting probably because in the state of Colorado, if you have a non-violent offense, you are allowed to hunt.
okay. Yeah,
That's
thank you.
only in Colorado.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Reverend Hancock?
Yeah. The judge in Iowa County who reviewed your application for a pardon strongly supports your getting a pardon. how does that support make you feel?
I feel good about it. I think I've done a lot since I've been out. I mean, I think I
Thank you.
sure. Go ahead.
All right, and Eric.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up about the hunting to make sure that I understood your answer. Are you saying that in Colorado you hunt with a firearm, or that in Colorado you hunt but it's not with a firearm?
No, you can hunt with a firearm in Colorado.
Okay.
If you have a non-violent offense, you can't. If you have a domestic violence or any kind of violent offense, you cannot. You can't buy a gun. You certainly can't do that. You could borrow a gun and use a gun, but you cannot.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Are there any other questions? Okay, well, thank you for your time, Mr. Morphew. You're free to sign off.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm not very good on the computer. Let me grab my wife. She could help me get signed off.
No problem. Our next applicant is Thomas Boldig.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I appreciate your time.
You can go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay. In October of 2014, I was arrested and charged with possession of THC and also manufacture of THC. I was convicted, pled no contest in April of 2015. My sentence was 6 months in jail with 3 months stayed, 4 years probation amended to 3 years if my agent deemed it to be okay and everything was paid and there were no outstanding circumstances with the probation agency. I finished my probation, was released after 3 years. I was a single father with sole custody of my daughter since she was about 2.5 years old. I have kept a full-time job at a paper mill for over 30 years. And I look back at the time this happened, and it's hard to understand how I had the thought process I did back then. But for some reason, I think I felt like some of the rules didn't apply to me. And I was guilty as sin. There's no way around it. I deserved everything that I got out of this sentence and probably more. I have not had any criminal contact, police contact since then. It seemed like I worked pretty much nonstop through the COVID epidemic. We were an essential business, so that took up most of my time with that. The place I did work at shut their doors in 2021. So then I had to, look for another job. I tried another paper mill. It didn't seem like it was a very good fit. So I went into supervisory position. I work for a company that supports the paper industry. I've been there for almost 3 years. I am 63 years old, looking at retiring in another, less than 2 years. I don't know if I deserve a pardon, but I would sure like a pardon. I feel like I have been a very productive citizen, a good father, a good employee. I'm looking forward to the next phase of my life. I'd like to do some traveling. I have horses. I like to fish. So there's a lot of good things on my horizon. And having never really been in trouble before in my life, I look back at this and it's hard to even imagine why I chose to do the things I did. But I did, and now I'm here. I don't know. Is there any questions that you have for me?
Any questions from the board members? Okay, well, thank you for your time, Mr. Boldig.
Thank you so much.
Our next applicant is Walter Carter. Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Oh, I can see and hear you. Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Walter Carter, and thank you for having me today. I am nervous, so I prepare a written statement and would like to read it if it is okay. I am asking for a pardon for my my felony conviction. One, manufacturing of delivering of cocaine conviction in 1998, and two possession THC conviction in 2002 and 2003. I have been struggling with my addiction since I was 15. I admit that I have numerous arrests and multiple convictions until 2007. I understand that my addiction hurts myself as well as those who care about me for a very long time. I have no excuse for my wrongdoing, and I sincerely apologize for my dark past. I had a stroke in 2011 and become disabled, but I hope that I can get better and can do part-time work in the future, but I ask, but I am ashamed of my conviction, and hopefully I can apply for jobs without having to worry about my conviction. I know that I cannot erase my past, but get getting a pardon will be very helpful to live a normal life. Also, I would like to get a better apartment in a safe neighborhood, as I have been denied multiple housing opportunity due to my conviction record. I have been, it had been 19 years since my last conviction, and I have never been arrested or convicted of any crime since 2007. I am a proud father of my three children and grandfather of 10 grandchildren. I would like to show them that their grandpops is now a different person, and anyone can have a second chance after taking responsibility of their wrongdoing. I really regret my dark past and wrongdoing, and I know that I cannot change my past, but I can change my future, my past, my present, and my future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Are there questions from the board? Reverend Hancock?
Mr. Carter, you state in your application that your crimes were the result of your addiction, but that you've been clean and sober since 2007. And congratulations on that accomplishment. How do
Thank
you maintain your sobriety?
Well, the last, I had a stroke, and I just been dealing with my stroke, talking with the doctors and stuff, and just trying to maintain, so I won't hurt myself, and hopefully that I can get better.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Eric.
So obviously the governor will have the final decision on this, but the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office did review your application for a pardon and supports it. How does that make you feel?
I'm very proud. Very
Thank you.
proud. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, Mr. Carter. You're free to sign off.
Thank you.
Our next applicant is Rochelle McAfee. Ms. McAfee, are you there? Okay. We will come back to Ms. McAfee. It just doesn't appear she's in here, so we will come back again at the end in case she joins. Our next applicant is Freddy Peterson. Mr. Peterson, are you present? We cannot see or hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning. The floor is yours.
Yeah, my name's Freddy Peterson. Yeah, I've been convicted of some crimes that are trying to get me a pardon. And that oh man, it's been so many years I forgot when I was arrested for party to a crime. But since then, after I went to jail, did 6 months. And before I did that, I was applied for my Social Security disability. So once I got arrested, I had to start all over again. And then once I got that, I had worked for Bell Therapy. That's for working. That's like an adult daycare center for disabled people have disabled problems and stuff like that. And I had problems, so they put me in that program. So I did like a year and a half in that program, and then I had an in-house job there. So once it was time for me, I paid for my release, it was application there. I signed the release paper and signed the application, so I became employee. And I worked there over 17, 18 years. And like I said, that's been a while, it's been a long time. And so I've been pretty good, but since my Social Security disability kicked in, I've been disabled, couldn't work and stuff like that, trying to find apartments and since, we got felonies, they were, it's hard for you to get a partner, a decent one. And so I would be happy to get this partner. So that's all I got to say about this.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Peterson. Are there questions from the board? Eric.
Good morning, Mr. Peterson. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. In the application, it is not required, but it is strongly encouraged that applicants submit letters of support, and it doesn't appear that you did. Why was that?
I thought I had submitted one.
All right.
I didn't know I didn't.
All right. Thank you.
Reverend Hancock?
Now, Mr. Pearson, can you explain about the gun you found in the park?
Oh, that one. That came out there, and it was weird. I was waiting to get a haircut, and I had left. It was a couple people ahead of me, so I left out the barber shop and went to the store, got me some cigarettes. That's it was a nice day, so the park is right around the corner. So I walked around the corner. Kids over playing in the park. So this pistol, I think whatever it was just shiny. I was walking by, and it was early spring. It was just shiny, laying in the bush. I picked it up. It was a little pistol. And I looked over at the park. The kids were playing. I said, one of these kids can find this thing, and it could be something bad. But the thing wasn't no good. So I took it out the park, took it home. So I went back I didn't look at it until I came back from the barber shop. So once I came back to the barber shop, I had put it up, and then I checked it out. Thing was nothing but junk. It was no good. And I checked it out, it was rusty. It sat all winter in those bushes. But I don't know what I was thinking. I know I was felon. I didn't throw it away or nothing because I didn't know what to do with it. It didn't have, but the thing didn't have no springs in it or nothing. It was actually just like a toy, piece of junk, one number a piece of junk. And so, but what happened, the reason why I got arrested for that was so-called old girlfriend of mine. She got mad at me. I had paid rent, everything. And I don't know what happened that night. What made her do that? Well, I came in, she had the door locked, she opened the door. I think she had somebody else in the field, in the apartment. She didn't want me to come in. So she called the police and everything and told them I had a pistol and all of that. And I told them, yeah, I had it. But I forgot about it. But when I put it up, I just forgot about it. So he put it, I don't know how she started getting under my coat. And so she told him I had it, so I went and got it. Showed it to him, so they checked it out. When he pulled it back, it fell all apart. They started laughing about it. And they put it in a plastic bag and said, Mr. Peterson, you know you're supposed to have it. I said, yeah, I know it, but I forgot about I had it. And I said, I meant to throw it away, but I didn't know what to do with it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Peterson? Eric?
Yeah, sorry about not mentioning this sooner. So the governor will have the final decision, but the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office did review your application for a pardon and supports it. How does that make you feel?
Mm-hmm. It makes me feel better. It makes me where I can get family, so if I can get this pardon, I can find me a better place to live in. Where I'm staying now, y'all would want to stay in.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time, Mr. Peterson. You're free to sign off.
Okay, how do you sign out?
There should be a leave button, but you can also put yourself on mute in the meantime.
How I do that one?
All right, thank you.
Huh?
Okay, well, our next applicant, let's circle back to Rochelle McAfee. Are you present, Miss McAfee?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. If you can turn your video back on, and I'll give you the floor.
The video is on, ma'am, I believe.
Yep, now it is. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you. Hi, how are you? I can't hear now.
Oh, we're doing
Okay,
well. You can go
okay.
ahead.
Oh,
Thank you.
hi, I'm Rochelle McAfee, and I'm trying to get a pardon because I had this over my head for almost 27 years, 28 years, and it's hard for me. I am a CNA. I'm trying to go to, well, I've been trying to go to nursing school, but I've been getting denied nursing school because of this case that I have over my head. They'll do a background check on me and they'll say, oh, you a felon for such and such, such and such. And to be honest, I can't even recall or remember this case that I'm a felon for. It's been so long. So I was trying to get a pardon of this so I can go forward with my life because it's been holding me back for certain things that I want to do. Can y'all hear me?
Okay. Yep. Thank you, Ms.
Oh, okay.
McAfee. I'll open it up to questions from the board. I have one first. Can you explain what you have done since I understand it was a 1996 conviction? So can you explain the steps you've taken since then?
The steps I have taken since then, I have completed my GED. I have 2 years of college. I got kicked out of nursing program because of this thing that's over my head, but I still move forward with it. I am a certified nurse assistant. I work with elder people. I like what I do. I have a clean slate since then, since that happened. Um, Pretty much still moving forward with it. Just want to get this over with so I can enroll in nursing school so I could complete what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to open up assisted living for the elder people, but certain things just hold me back from doing that.
Thank you. Are there other questions from the board? Eric?
Good morning. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us
Good
today.
morning.
It appears that in 2025 you had an OWI first. Is that correct?
Correct, it is.
Okay, and then you were ordered ignition interlock for 12 months. That would be like until this coming July. Is that about right?
They ordered me for 9 months, but yes.
9 months. Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you would like to tell the board about that incident?
I can't even recall that incident happening. But yes, I did pleaded guilty to it. Because yes, I was intoxicated when that happened, but I wasn't driving. I was just asleep in the driver's seat. So they consider that still as a DUI. So I accepted that responsibility. But yes, I did catch that.
Is there any treatment that was ordered or that you did voluntarily related to that?
Yes, I did a treatment. I went to a program for I think 6 weeks and I completed that. Yes, I did.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Reverend Hancock?
Yeah. I realize it's been a long time ago, but just to be clear, you were 16 years old when you committed this crime?
I was 15 and yes, I was.
Okay. Right. And were you waived into adult court or did they just wait to charge you? How did that work?
I can't even recall how that happened, but I recall when I went back to court, they waived me because I was turning 17 or something like that. So
Okay.
they waived me into the adult court, which in my lawyer, if I can recall, was trying to keep me in the juvenile so it wouldn't be on an adult record. But I think they overruled that. I can't recall or remember exactly what happened. But yes, they did waive me into the adults.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, Ms. McAfee.
You're welcome.
Our next applicant is Ernest Fischer. Mr. Fischer, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Great. Okay, I'll give you the floor.
All right, good morning. My name is Ernest Fischer. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am here to ask for a pardon for my 3 convictions. In 2004, I was convicted of a felony with possession of controlled substance of cocaine. I received 3 years probation, but my probation was extended due to my 2006 conviction. In 2006, I was convicted of possession of marijuana, and I received 18 months in probation, and I completed the sentence without revocation. In 2013, I was convicted of possession of a firearm by felon. I received 18 months of prison and 18 months of extended supervision. I completed my sentence without any revocation. I was a troubled young man. I made a lot of wrong decisions. I regret them and I apologize for my wrongdoings. I take full responsibility for what I did. For my last conviction, possession of a firearm by a felon, I was trying to protect my family after some random guy fired his gun at our house, and I wanted to protect my family. But I know I wasn't supposed to have possess a firearm as a convicted felon. I take full responsibility for my wrong decision, and I apologize. Since I've been out, I've been working with Feeding America and at a church called City of Faith, passing out food and helping with cutting grass and doing the snow. Okay, I have been volunteer at food pantries since 2016. I also help my daughter take care of my grandkids, and I love spending time with them. I I also have um, 3 other grandchildren that I just had in November. So this takes up takes up my time helping the mother. Helping my daughter and her children and my kids. My kid, my kids and grandkids give me motivation to stay focused and on track so that I can be a positive influence on their lives. It's so much negative stuff going on in the streets. I just try and do my part to help the community and the youth. My biggest goal is to work for the police and or the sheriff's office in any capacity. I can I I can contribute I can contribute to. It has been 13 years since my last conviction and I didn't violate and violate any law since then. I have truly learned from stupid mistakes I've made in life. Since I've been out, I have refused to let anything hold me back or stop me from doing the good things that life has to offer. I thank God for being able to have a second chance at life outside of prison. I want to continue to be a positive role model for the youth today so many of them are lost and mixed up with the wrong crowd. For me to be able to talk to them and show them that they can still be great without following the wrong group of people means a lot to me. By being granted their pardon, I can be proof that they need to see that no matter how old you are, if you stay focused and keep a positive mindset, you can rewrite your future to do great things. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Fischer. Questions from the board? I have a question. I believe there was a 2024 arrest for battery on your record.
There was a miscommunication or whatever. It was, yeah, miscommunication with that.
If you could just explain the circumstances to the board.
Pretty much, it was with my son or whatever. He got mad, and because I was telling him about something that he was going through with court. I had just took him to court, and basically he got disrespectful. I told him to get out the vehicle, and I put him out in front of the police department. And he got out the vehicle and went in there and lied to them and saying that I hit him, which though they know that I couldn't have hit him from the front driver's seat. And he's way in the back of the van. So they hadn't charged me with that or nothing because nothing even happened. So there was a miscommunication.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions from the board, Reverend Hancock?
There was a Milwaukee County case in 2017 involving domestic abuse, intimidating a witness. What was that all about?
Basically, it was a miscommunication too, the same way, my wife had got mad at me because she had found out about some kids that I had on her. So pretty much it was just, yeah, all stupid stuff. And I hadn't committed no crime or nothing. So yeah, miscommunication.
Oh. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, Mr. Fischer. You're free to sign off.
All right, thank you. Yeah,
Our next applicant is Kamisha Clark.
Good morning.
Good morning. You can go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kamisha Clark. I was convicted of aiding a felon in 2002. I knew some people committed a crime and I didn't report it to the police in a timely fashion. And then in 2006, I think it is, I was communicating with someone that I thought was overseas, and they were sending me checks in my name to cash. And both times I pled guilty or no contest, and I served my time at the time. Since then, I've graduated from college with a bachelor's degree in accounting, and I've been to school for some other stuff. I currently prepare taxes, and I just started my own trucking company. Some things that has been holding me back from, growing in my businesses is because of my background, because of my felony background. And so I believe, like, if I got this pardon, that I'd be able to grow my business. I like to help people, and I'm just trying to find a way to create more jobs for people that possibly don't, know how to find them, or just need a second chance in doing things. I really don't have any community involvement besides the people that, I be around on a daily basis, which is family. I do help out time to time in the church that I grew up in, but like no big like volunteer things that I do. I have 2 children that I just try to support.
All right, thank you, Ms. Clark. Are there questions from the board? Anthony?
In our notes, it was just stating that it seems as though that you still owe Department of Corrections for restitution. I was wondering, do you have that paid off already, or?
I I believe that was paid off before I got off of probation. It was joint and several, and and I paid the portion that I was supposed to pay, and they should have got the rest from the other two guys that were also on the case.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Eric?
The governor will make the ultimate decision, but the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office did review your application for a pardon and supports it. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel glad that this could possibly be behind me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time, Ms. Clark. You're free to sign off.
Okay, thank you.
And our last applicant in this session is Darren Fox. Okay, you can go ahead.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Darren Fox. My charges were failure to pay in 2006. This was for a child support case. The original charges were a misdemeanor, but because I was out of state, I've always lived in Chicago, Illinois. So Illinois wouldn't recognize the charges, so they had to be upped to a felony for my probation and I guess to be watched, so to speak. With that probation, I completed that, didn't have any other incidents or anything like that since. The charges were accurate. I pretty much tried to ignore the situation. What was happening was I was in the process of getting ready to join in the military, and I was afraid of that. I thought all of those dreams would be over. So I kind of hid that situation from my parents. I was brought up in a two-parent household, just wasn't raised like that. So I thought that if I ignored the letters and things like that for child support, they would just go away. But that was just being young, stupid and foolish. So again, I completed my probation. I've been employed with my same employer doing this process for about 20 years now. I work in senior management with my company that I'm with. So during that time, since I completed probation, I'm working in the community in my church. I belong to what's considered a mega church here in Chicago, and I serve on two committees. I'm a Sunday school teacher for married couples ministry. Also mentor young men who either don't have any fathers in the home or do have a father in the home, but just need a positive role model in their lives. And we stick with those kids from whatever age group we get them through high school and then through college. And just mentor, counsel, things like that, take them to baseball games, someone to talk to and things like that for the young men that we deal with. And then just teach them life skills, some of the things that, I've learned and been through for this. And what kind of inspired me to get on this journey to get a pardon is I've come encounter with young men, like myself who've, had some rough times in their life and, might have been convicted of charges and things like that. And I've written letters for those gentlemen to either get their records expunged or pardons and things like that. So I felt it would be good for me to do this as well for myself, to have a story to mentor back to the young men that I've been mentoring through church and things like that. And so then, like I said, this is twofold. So one, I would like to have a pardon for that portion, and then for my professional career as well. Since I applied for this, I belong to what's called here in Chicago, it's the Illinois Beverage Association. So every year, I'm down to our state capitol and I'm interacting with state representative politicians and things like that. When we go down and we lobby for things that pertain to things that are in my industry that I work in. And so at the very young age of 50, there's some other opportunities that I would like to pursue, be it in the church and in my professional career. And I just don't want to have these charges that I have on me to hold me back from opening up those doors. Because previous to this, I've missed out on some opportunity for other things of employment because of these charges. Even though I've been employed in my current job for the past 20 years, there's other opportunities that I wanted to pursue that didn't allow me to. And then even though I do have these charges and I was able to stay employed with the current employer I am now, is just my work ethic, my morals, my integrity, and everything. They, look past me having these charges and kept me on as an employee. So if that, have any questions, I would like to answer for you all, but that's pretty much respective time. That's my thing in a nutshell.
Thank you, Mr. Fox.
Mhm.
Did you pay all of the child support? Are you completely, there's no outstanding amount owed for child support?
No, ma'am, no.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? Reverend Hancock?
Mr. Fox, was it your son that you were not paying child support for?
Yes, correct.
And what is your relationship now with your son?
Well, his mother had she got married and things like that. So we have I guess what you call a long distance relationship and things like that. So we talk, through social media, over the phone and things like that. So we just have a relationship like that. We didn't like I didn't come back to the home or things like that. We just had like a long distance relationship, basically.
Yeah. When was the last time you talked to him?
Probably about 3 or 4 years ago on social media.
Okay. And you say in your application that
Mhm.
one of the reasons why you were not paying child support was because there was some question about whether you were actually the father.
Yeah, so long story short, this is before I was going into the military. A couple of the guys that I was going into the service with, we went out and partied. So I met a young lady. It was a one night stand, basically. Um, and when I left to go into the service, she contacted me, said, "Hey, I'm pregnant," things like that. So that's when it came to I got scared, ignored the letters and conversation, but there was never a DNA test or anything like that because I didn't come to court and was ignoring those letters. I was automatically deemed the father of the young man.
Yeah, there was a paternity decision made
Right.
7 years before you stopped paying child support.
Okay. Yes.
So you were established to be the father 7 years before you quit paying child support.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, there was never a DNA test though.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you for your time, Mr. Fox.
All right, thank you.
That concludes our first morning session. I believe we got through all of the applicants. So we will take a break until the second session, which starts at 10 o'clock. Just as a reminder, we will continue to live stream during that time. So feel free to turn off your camera and mute yourself, and I will see you back at 10. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. If you're joining us for the second morning session, we will go ahead and get started. My name is Mel Barnes. I'm Chief Legal Counsel to Governor Evers. I'm going to introduce my fellow board members, go through a little bit of housekeeping, and then we will get started hearing from all of you. So with us today in Zoom, we have board member Reverend Jerry Hancock, who is the director of the Prison Ministry Project. He previously served as a public defender, a deputy district attorney, and as an administrator for the Department of Justice's Division of Law Enforcement Services. We have board member Professor Eric Liberator, who teaches paralegal students from around the world in the University of Cincinnati's online program. He previously served as a supervising attorney at Disability Rights Wisconsin, where he focused on public benefits eligibility, and in the governor's office. And we have board member Nadia Perez Reyes, who is the Deputy Secretary for the Department of Children and Families. She previously worked as a state public defender and as an attorney for legal action of Wisconsin. And we have board member Anthony Cooper Sr., who is the CEO of Focused Interruption, an organization dedicated to interrupting the devastating cycle of violence with the help of the community. He received a pardon from Governor Evers in January of 2021. So just a couple housekeeping notes about how today's hearing will work before we get started. First, please keep in mind today's hearing is being live streamed via Wisconsin Eye and YouTube. So we'll ask you to mute yourself and keep your camera off until it is your turn to be heard by the board so we can focus on the person presenting. If you do have any IT issues with the Zoom, don't worry, someone from staff will give you a call and help you troubleshoot. If it means we need to come back to you because Zoom isn't cooperating when it's your turn, we can certainly do that. Otherwise, we'll call on folks in the order listed in the agenda and open meeting notice, and each applicant will have about 5 minutes total with the board. So we'll ask you to spend the first 3 of those minutes speaking to the questions that you were sent in advance of today's hearing. As a reminder, those are to please give us a brief summary of the offense you're seeking a pardon for and how your sentence went. We're not here to retry the crime. You don't need to minimize your involvement. We just want to hear from you in your own words what happened. Second, to give us a brief summary of what you've done since the completion of your sentence. Community involvement, employment, essentially where you're at now and how your life is different than the time of your offense. And third and finally, a brief statement about why you're seeking a pardon and why you think the governor should grant you one. Once you've spent 3 minutes covering those questions, we'll open it up to any follow-up questions the board may have for you. Don't read too much into it either way. If we do or don't have questions for you, keep in mind your applications are very thorough and we spent a lot of time with those materials before today's hearing. But if we do have questions, we want to make sure we get to those so we can make a thoughtful recommendation to the governor. Once you're done answering any follow-up questions we have for you, you're welcome to sign off and leave the Zoom hearing. Once everyone has been heard, the board will meet in closed session and decide whether or not to recommend your application for a pardon to the governor. You need a majority support of board members present in order for your application to be forwarded to Governor Evers, who will then make the final decision on whether or not to grant you a pardon. Either way, you'll hear about the outcome of today's hearing about 1 to 2 months from today. We know you've been really patient just to get to today's hearing. We thank you for bearing with us a little bit longer so that we can make those thorough recommendations to the governor. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started with our first applicant of the second morning session, which is Miss Beverly Beeson. Miss Beeson, do we have you in the Zoom with us? Okay. I do not see Miss Beeson. So in the meantime, we will go on to Brian Paulhammer. Mr. Paulhammer, I know I saw you.
Did you hear me or no?
Oh, now we can.
Okay, sorry.
And are you able to turn your camera on? We can't see you quite yet.
Yep, here we go. Does that work? Yep.
There we go.
So I'm waiting for my attorney. She said she had sent you an email, Natalie Wisco.
Okay, would you like us to come back to you once she's here?
Yeah, could we do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Her, no problem. Okay, so we will go to Kevin Springborn. Mr. Springborn.
Hello, good morning. Waiting for my camera to turn on.
There we
Hi.
are.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, so I think I understand the exercise, and I got a short time to say a lot, so I'm going to try to keep this as brief as I can. I understand. First and foremost, thank you very much for allowing me to participate in this opportunity. I am seeking a pardon for 3 felonies, 2 for burglary, and 1 for an intent to deliver. The 2 burglaries occurred, and I was sentenced, I believe the word is concurrently, so meaning that simultaneously, right? I received 3 years of probation, fines, therapy, court-ordered community service. I performed these incidences when I was 17, or was convicted when I was 17, and at that time in my life, all I can say is I don't think I knew any better. I did not have any positive guidance or role models in my life at that time. I did complete the sentence requirements, and then approximately 4 years later was charged with another felony for the intent to deliver. And for that sentence, I received 1 year of work release, fines, more therapy, and also had my vehicle repossessed at that time. Is there any questions? Very good. I'll continue. Thank you. I just want to say again, yes, I was young. I did not have much hope in my life at that time and was just involved in associating with people that also, similar to me, maybe just didn't have the greatest circumstances growing up. Life can be hard. We know this. But it doesn't forgive my bad decisions. If you were hurt or know somebody that was hurt by my actions, I am truly sorry. Please know I have paid a heavy price and continue to pay a heavy price for that. And I mean that. Since these instances occurred, some good has come out of this. It made me correct my life. I was not on a good track. I was very hard to reach. But a lot has happened since then. So I've grown a lot. And that's what I'm going to cover right now. So one of my biggest struggles early in life was not having the ability to ask for help or having much help around me or having, again, those positive influences in my life. I had a family that loved me, please understand that, but not one that could reach out to me properly and help guide me. Since then, this was approximately 25 years ago, these instances occurred. I have maintained steady employment. I've only ever worked for a few employers. I am loyal and I'm consistent, and I have a really good work ethic. To prove those points, one of my first jobs, I established a safety committee that also became a first aid trainer, meaning that I helped assist with first aid training of a facility of over 50 employees. I'm very proud of that. That's a very important thing to be able to teach. Since then, I have also performed many volunteer activities that extended beyond my probationary and court-guided requirements. But truthfully, since then, have also started to noticing that the felonies were starting to haunt me. I was denied advancement opportunities early in my life. I understand and respect why. But these challenges did not deter me. It actually helped me even more. I continued to receive help and therapy. Because of some of the court-ordered mandates, I actually discovered I had a bit of a religious side to me, which I'm going to say that I may not practice religion, but I'm extremely spiritual and just believe that things happen for a reason, even this. I received a college degree, associates, a business certificate. In 2019, I received a bachelor's degree. However, again, I've been denied advancement opportunities despite all of this, and again, I understand. I still continue to volunteer a little bit as I can. I do assist with volunteer opportunities through work efforts when they're offered. I have assisted financially to local organizations and continue to do so. It's an important part of wanting to maintain good standing in a community and, more importantly, help those that need it. since then, a lot's happened, needless to say. Yes, these convictions continue to haunt me. Most recently, I had to deal with the end-of-life situation of somebody who I cared very deeply about. And it made me put some of my life in perspective, which is why I'm pursuing this opportunity right now. Again, things happen for a reason. I feel like there's so much more I can say, but I'm going to keep this short. I regret what I've done. I've grown a lot, as I've stated. And again, I think the most important thing to say that I changed was the ability to ask for help, to understand there are resources in the community to get help. And I want to continue to grow so I can continue to pay those back to society. I am nervous about my future job prospects. A couple of years ago, I was where I thought I'd left these convictions in the past. I, under the threat of a warrant, received a notice that I needed to resubmit DNA. And this reached back to the convictions that I thought I had left in the past. So I just wanted to share that with you, that again, these convictions still continue to come up in my life. It's hard to discuss with employers, but these are discussions I've had to have. So I guess in short, I feel like there was so much more I wanted to say, but that is really the gist of my explanation I wanted to offer.
Thank you, Mr.
Are there any
Springborn.
questions?
Let's see, board members, questions for Mr. Springborn. Reverend Hancock.
Mr. Springborn, would you briefly explain how getting a pardon would help you become a professional engineer?
Correct. So a couple of years ago, when I graduated with my bachelor's, I began to look forward to what I wanted to do next. And I did some research, and the professional engineering license does have a background check. And it made me not proceed forward with the group of friends I had graduated with, where they went on to continue with receiving the steps required to achieve that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions from the board? Mr. Springborn, just one from me in the meantime here. I noticed that you were ordered to pay about $1,000 in restitution for one of your cases. Have you paid that restitution?
Yes, all restitution has been paid. And, just to say it, convictions do continue to follow. There's always more cost to go above and beyond the court-ordered requirements, yes.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Reverend Hancock, yeah.
I'm sorry. The district attorney in Washington County reviewed your application for a pardon. Now, Governor Evers will make the final decision, but how does that support make you feel?
That is immense. It's relief. If the one thing I'm looking for here is I'll never be completely forgiven for what I've done. I still regret it. But when society can allow me to feel like I deserve just a sliver of redemption, I'm very grateful. Thank you for sharing that. I was actually not aware.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Springborn. I think that covers it from us. Appreciate
Wonderful.
your time. Hope you enjoy your weekend.
You as well. All of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe we have Miss Beverly Beeson in the Zoom with us now. Miss Beeson, if you can hear me, we're ready to turn it over to you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Were you able to hear my introduction at the beginning about what we're asking you to speak to?
I wasn't able to hear all of it. I had trouble connecting in. Someone had called and helped me connect in. So I'm going to do my best to complete everything every question that you asked me to.
We're just, going to ask you to spend 3 minutes speaking to those questions we sent you in advance, and then we'll open it up and see if there are follow-ups for you.
Okay. Once again, my name is Beverly Beeson, like she had mentioned. My offense was theft, fraud, false representation of over $10,000. Read some of my offense. My sentence, I was sentenced to 90 days in the House of Correction. I completed that sentence, which ended up being 68 days in the House of Correction with good behavior. With my sentence, I also had a restitution of roughly 38,000. I've paid that down to roughly 27,000. So that was my offense along with my sentence. A brief summary of what I've done since my sentence. I've maintained employment. I've been able to start a daycare, a child care service. I'm interested in working with the elderly as well as the disabled. I have a grandson, so I would like to just throw him in there that he's part of my daily life, that I'm, raising him daily also. So that would be, I also would like to mention that I do community service. I'm going to call it community service. There's a restaurant in my neighborhood. I go there once a week just to kind of help out. It's like a voluntary, something that I do voluntary. It's not employment for me. So I do try to get involved with the community as much as possible and to help out just about anyone, from children to the elderly to the disabled, anyone that I'm able to help, more than willing to help them. A brief statement about what I think, why I think I should receive a pardon. I would love to receive a pardon to be able to help the disabled and the elderly more, far as maybe something like a home care agency, a home health agency, or something along that way. And if I'm able to obtain something like that, it would also help me to pay down more, the 28,000 that I still have left in the restitution. From my case, I would just like to go back a little and state that it was a very dumb decision that I made. I take full responsibility for the decision that I made. It was wrong. I pled guilty. I admit my guilt. I was wrong. It was a wrong decision that I made years back. I feel as though I've matured and I'm trying to better myself daily.
Thank you, Ms. Beeson. We'll open it up to questions from the board. Professor Libertor.
Good morning. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. I appreciate you clarifying the current balance on the restitution. I had one follow-up about that. The last payment made on it that I can see was 2021, but then it goes to collections, so we don't really know what happens from there. Was that the last payment you recall making, or have you paid on it since 2021?
I paid on it since 2021 to the collection agency.
Okay. Do you have an estimate of about when the last payment that you made was?
No, not the last. It would have been the end of last year.
Okay.
But I do still have a balance owing on it, sir. And I do try to work on it much as I can. They do anything that's owed to me, it is taken. There's, I can't debate it, dispute it, anything like that. I owe it. So it goes toward that balance as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Reverend Hancock.
Ms. Beeson, you were part of a scheme to defraud about $350,000 in Quest cards, welfare cards that were meant to help other people. And one of your co-defendants was your sister, who provided a lot of the names and information to make the plan work. What happened to your sister?
My sister was sentenced. Don't quote me on like the exact days or whatever, but I know that she was sentenced to 5 years in the prison system, to Cheetah, Milwaukee prison system. She also had 5 years of probation. She completed both of those. After that, she moved out of Wisconsin.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you, Ms. Beeson. Appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Next up, we have Tanya Trentadue Allen. Ms. Trentadue Allen? Ms. Trentadue Allen, do we have you in the Zoom with us? All right, I do not believe we have her at this time, so we will go on to Samir Chahade. Mr. Chahade?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can't quite see you yet.
Okay, I'm gonna do then there you go.
There you go. And Mr. Chahade, before you begin, I just want to note, one of our board members, Reverend Hancock, is recusing himself from hearing your application. So he's gone off camera and won't participate in questioning, and that's why. But the rest of us are ready to hear from you.
Thank you very much. I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to speak to you today. On May 5th, 1989, I committed arson. I pleaded guilty and assumed full responsibility then as I do now. I understand the severity and recklessness of what I did. In the late 80s, I became addicted to drugs and alcohol, not an excuse, but a reality that clouded my judgment and led me down a very destructive path. I am fortunate that no one was injured. However, I acknowledge that my actions put people at risk. My decision to commit arson was a desperate and dangerous act to try to make money to pay for my drug addiction and a failing business. I am profoundly ashamed of my actions, and I carry that shame with me for the rest of my life. I hope that my response to question number 9 of the pardon application conveys the depth of my remorse. I wish I could undo it all. My recovery and redemption has been a 36-year journey that began when taking responsibility for all of my actions. I was very scared when I learned that the police were looking for me, and I had a choice to make: turn myself in or hide. Looking back, I am so glad that I turned myself in and I accepted responsibility. I knew I had to look inward with a clear mind. The time I spent separated from society, combined with the resources the justice system provides, gave me the space and tools to begin rebuilding. While in prison, I completed inpatient alcohol and other drug abuse treatment in Rochester, Minnesota, earned an associate business degree in business administration, and worked in the warehouse with full trust of the prison staff and maintained a complete clean conduct record. I have remained sober to this day. I am very proud to be able to say that today. The tool and services offered to me by the criminal justice system and my family and friends saved my life. Upon my release in 1995, I used every one of them. I sold cars, took a clerical job to get back on my feet, but my deeper goal was to one day own a small business and run it with honesty and integrity. In early 1997, just a year after my release, that dream began to take shape. With the support of people who believe in me, I opened a coffee house downtown in Madison called Michelangelo's. I had to prove to myself and others that I was a valuable member of society. I poured everything I had into that business. 7 days a week, long hours for nearly 25 years. What I didn't anticipate was how much that corner of State Street would become a place of connection for community. My experience with incarceration gave me a deep understanding of people who are facing hard times. Addiction, mental illnesses, financial hardship. I saw potential in people regardless of their circumstances. To the unhoused community downtown, I became known as Mr. Michelangelo or Sam because I took time to know them by name and do what I could to make their lives a little better. For 27 years, I employed thousands of people. Many were young students, some fresh out of high school, many carrying their own personal struggles, depression, anxiety, and uncertainty about the future. I share my story openly, using my own journey to show them that life can change dramatically for the better. I continue many of those relationships to this day. On a community level, Mr. Michelangelo's, I supported countless local causes and campaigns. On a larger scale, I became involved in the fair trade movement, a cause that ensures coffee farmers with limited resources can compete in a global market. In 2004, my wife Lori and I opened a second location on State Street called Fair Trade Coffee House, built on the same values of Michelangelo's. It thrived. In 2017, we sold it because Lori's parents were aging, and it continues to operate successful under new ownership. Throughout all of this, I have remained a stabilizing force to my family and close friends, many of whom are now facing many life challenges. Why am I seeking a pardon now? My road to redemption has been long, and I realize it will continue for the rest of my life. But today, my felony conviction remains a practical barrier. When pursuing new business ventures, leases, permits, licenses, I face outright denials, lengthy appeal processes. When I travel, I am subject to extra scrutiny or questioning. At times, I simply choose not to because it triggers PTSD. I repeat, I am deeply remorseful for my actions at this time. I am respectfully asking the Pardon Advisory Board to grant me a pardon. A pardon will give me the peace of mind. It would represent forgiveness from the state of Wisconsin, which I love, and stand as recognition that people are capable of genuine change. My application and case files include letters from many individuals, some of whom work directly on my case within the criminal justice system. They believe I have demonstrated the worthiness of a pardon. I humbly ask that you agree. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chahade. Any follow-up questions from the board? Okay, I think your application and your presentation today was very thorough and covered everything that we have for you. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Chahade. I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Curtis Kimmons. Mr. Kimmons.
I'm here. Okay. All right. Hello, my name is Curtis Kimmons, and oh, good morning. I'm sorry. Good morning, everyone. My name is Curtis Kimmons, and on August 1st of 1980, I was in a car, driving a car with four friends, and they attempt to rob someone. At the time that all of this was happening, I had just returned from my basic training down in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And I got together with some old friends. Well, I thought they were my friends. And we drinking and drugging. And so they just happened to want to rob somebody. They wanted to get more money to get drugs. But I was the driver of the car. I got arrested and was in jail for I think 2 months, and they sentenced me to a 1 year probation. I then I got released off probation in 6 months. And then I would say after that, I I left Racine, Wisconsin, and moved to Madison. And that's where I made this change in my life. I got a job. I worked for the Parks Department in Madison, Wisconsin, and I worked for the I have worked as a building custodian. And then I moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I went to school for to be a medical assistant, and I did that for about I'd say about 4 years, and then I went to work for a local union, SEIU. Also, while in Minneapolis, as far as community service work, I was a baseball coach, trying to show young men how to, you know, be, I would say, be, accountable. I'll say that, be accountable. And then I got recruited from there to work with another union in Maryland, uh, in Montgomery County, Maryland. I worked for them from it was 1997 to 2001 as a union rep. Then I got a job working for Montgomery County Public School as an IT specialist. I was going to school during all this time, taking classes in information system technology. So I worked for Montgomery County Schools from 2001 to 2022. And I retired in 2022. Why am I seeking a pardon? Because there were a number of opportunities that I tried to apply for, but the felony conviction kept coming up. I tried to apply with an organization called Booz and Allen, which does IT work for the federal government, and was denied. And then I tried to work in try to get a job in another federal department and was denied. So the reason why I'm seeking a pardon today, although I am retired, I just would like to have this off my record, period. I just, you know, and actually during those times that I was trying to seek a federal job, I did speak to different attorneys, but the amount of money that they were asking for was just astronomical to do the work. So I found out about this program that's in Milwaukee. I'm sorry, in Milwaukee at Marquette University, and I said, you know what? Let me just try and see if I can seek a pardon just to get it off my record. I just want it off.
Thank you, Mr. Kimmons. We'll open up to questions from the board. Board members? Reverend Hancock.
Mr. Kimmons, you got involved in this situation when you were back in Kenosha after your basic training. Did this conviction affect your military career?
I explained the situation to them, and I ended up being in the Army Reserves. I was in the Army Reserves for 17 years. And so I explained it to them, the situation to my commander, and he told me, he said, okay. He said, but from this point on, you gotta, stay on the straight and narrow. And so also while I was in the reserves, I had achieved a secret clearance. And I thought maybe this felony conviction thing would was gone or whatever. But obviously it wasn't.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Kimmons. That's everything from us then. We appreciate your time and hope you have a good weekend.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up we have James Brown. Mr. Brown.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'd like to thank you for seeing me on today. It has been at least 25 years since my last run-in with the police. I know since then, well at the time, we was just wanted to joyride, just wanted to have a little fun around in the neighborhood as because I was real young at the time and didn't think it was bothering anybody or anything like that. But so all of us we had got a car, we was just joyriding around in the neighborhood. We went out on no busy street or anything like that. And also, yeah, with the marijuana, I had that marijuana with me. It was just for personal use. I wasn't dealing it or doing anything like that with it. Yeah, I just had it for personal use. At the time, thought it was a fun thing to do. We was young, didn't really think about it when I did it. But as now, yeah, it seemed like it's just still on my record because I tried to apply to get a apartment, and they did a background check, and then the background check came back and said it can't because of these convictions that's on my record. So that's why I would think a apartment would really be a real good thing for me to get, so I can like if I want to be able to get an apartment still on my own. Yeah, and since then I've been working different jobs, but right now I'm currently at the Family Dollar as a CSR, and also work at Amazon now too. It's not on application because I had just recently got it while the application was big. Or because we already had did the application and sent it in before getting the other job here at Amazon. Yeah, I've been doing that, working at two jobs and being a community service at the church. Be at church every Sunday. Then on the Saturday mornings, I go by Panera Bread, pick up the bread for them, bring it by on Sunday morning for their Sunday morning breakfast. Then like on Tuesday evenings for their dinner. That'd be for like people that wants to come in that doesn't have really anything to eat at home, or they just don't want to cook at home. They just want to come out to the church and have a good meal at the church. I know I realized my actions back then wasn't too good. I realize that now. That's why it was real. Yeah, I was young. Yeah, like young and stupid, I guess I say like everybody else, but I took responsibility for it, did the time, and came on home and just trying to do everything I can to stay out of there. And I have been. Just been at work, at church, or at home, any place I've been at. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. We can go ahead and open up to questions from the board. Board members? Mr. Brown, just one from me. I'll start by saying you have a very common name, but I want to ask about this. Have you ever had a restraining order taken out against you?
Not that I believe I remember or know of.
Okay. It's possible that it is someone else. We don't have your birth date associated with it. And like I said, you do have a very common name. So I just wanted to ask. Reverend Hancock?
Okay. Mr. Brown, the DA's office in Milwaukee County reviewed your application for a pardon. Governor Evers will make the final decision, but how does that support make you feel?
Yeah, it makes you feel real good, at least to know somebody is believing in me, that saying that, yeah, get this guy a chance. He did like I would say like deserve a second chance. Yeah, to be able to go ahead and achieve some more things that he might want to be able to do in life.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Brown. That covers it from us. Appreciate your time today, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Tishon Lewis. Mr. Lewis.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Lewis. We can hear you. We can't see you quite yet.
How do we do the video? There we go.
There we are.
That's it?
Perfect.
I can't see you.
You can't see us?
No, I can't.
I don't actually know how to troubleshoot that.
Yeah, but I guess it's all right though. I mean, I can see you on my TV up here actually.
Oh, okay. Great. We'll go right ahead then.
Well, hey, good morning. Oh, there I go right there. I just see myself. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this program. Back in 2006, 2007, I was convicted of driving without owner's consent, and I think it's theft and removable of property. Me and my cousins, a couple guys, young, not fully educated up at top, just went out stealing some cars one day, and things went left, and it's time to put the big boy clothes on, and go man up for our situations that we got caught for. And since that, I had my first child. He's 15 right now, and I was with his mother, and she just said, "Man, you got to find something to do with yourself." So I've been trucking for the last 12 years. I actually have my own LLC. Started that 4 years ago. Things been going great for me, and just want to get this off my name, so I can just move forward in life. I mean, like a lot of people said, I've never been denied a job or been denied housing, and I don't want that to come up in the future. I want to be able to move where I want to move to and do what I want to do. And yeah, if I was granted this pardon, it'd be greatly appreciated. And I just keep moving forward like I've been doing, and being all I can be for my children, my community, my friends.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. We can open up to questions from the board. Board members? All right, I think you covered it all, Mr. Lewis. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right now.
Next up, we have Aspen Miller. Ms. Miller?
Oh, hi.
Hello.
All right. All right. So good morning. My name is Aspen Miller. I currently live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin with my fiance and my 8-year-old son. I work as a medical laboratory scientist at Columbia St. Mary's. I just want to thank you guys for taking time to hear my story today. I want to be fully transparent about my past. From a young age, I struggled with severe mental illness, including persistent suicidal ideation. This led to repeated hospitalizations and treatment programs. At age 13, I began using drugs, starting with prescribed benzodiazepines for anxiety, which contributed to a path of addiction. In high school, I received 2 underage drinking citations. At age 18, after treatment at Hazelden in Minnesota, I suffered 2 back-to-back overdoses. The second occurred on July 30th, 2012, when I was charged with possession of heroin and was at the time unconscious. I was in the hospital for 3 days and required a Narcan drip to stabilize my heart for 48 hours. Upon returning home to Eau Claire, I was desperate, unemployed, and in withdrawal from heroin and under the influence of benzodiazepines. And on September 12th, 2012, at age 19, I planned and participated in a robbery of a gas station. My face was covered with a scarf, and I threatened the cashier with a kitchen steak knife while my friend drove. I take full responsibilities for my action that day, and I deeply regret the fear and distress I caused the victim. To this day, I carry remorse for terrifying her and potentially leaving her with lasting anxiety or trauma she would not otherwise have faced. I wish I could undo the harm I inflicted. I wish I could say that moment immediately changed me, but it did not. After 4 months in county jail, I was released on probation and began working as a nanny for my nephew. My family hoped this was my fresh start. However, I relapsed shortly after. In January 2013, I was charged with possession with intent to deliver amphetamine and drug paraphernalia after allowing someone to use my car for a drug run in exchange for heroin. I was deeply ashamed and spent time back in jail. At my court appearance, I asked the judge for the opportunity to enter Teen Challenge, which is a 12-month faith-based recovery program in Milwaukee. He granted it. That program was rigorous and demanding, but it became the turning point I needed. I completed it successfully, remained sober for my required check-ins, and the judge ultimately dismissed those charges. I worked for Teen Challenge after graduating the program, and I had the privilege of supporting other women beginning their own journeys in sobriety. Later, I learned of the pending Minnesota charge from 2012, and with the help of a lawyer, that was dismissed. I successfully completed 5 years of probation without any violations. Since then, I've built a stable life. I graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee with a 3.8 GPA, earning a degree in biomedical sciences with a minor in medical technology. Going from failing courses and not walking at my high school graduation to finishing near the top of my college class was a huge milestone for me. In 2017, I was blessed with a son who inspires me daily to stay on the right path in true sobriety. I have maintained my faith, which has been central to my recovery. I'm currently engaged to a Catholic man, and tomorrow I will be confirmed while my son is baptized at Easter Vigil. Our family attends church regularly, and we are preparing to marry in a couple months with hopes of growing our family. For the past 13 years, I've remained completely sober from drugs, graduated college, employed in a responsible healthcare role, and committed to being a productive member of society. I have touched the lives of others in recovery and focused on personal growth and contribution. I am respectfully requesting a pardon primarily so I can be more fully present in my son's life. He attends a private school, and a background check currently prevents me from volunteering for recess duty, school events, sports concessions, or coaching basketball. I submitted a petition to the school board with strong letters of recommendation, including one from our priest, but have not yet received a final decision. A pardon would also allow me to pursue continuing education to become a science educator. I'm deeply motivated to support and inspire children who face struggles similar to those I experienced, and igniting their flame for science would be awesome, their curiosity. I understand the gravity of the decision before you and the seriousness and the harm I caused years ago. I do not take this request lightly. I believe I've demonstrated consistent rehabilitation and accountability and a commitment to making amends through how I live my life today. My family, colleagues, and community members have stepped forward to advocate for me, which has been profoundly humbling. Thank you again for your time and consideration, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak with you today.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Questions from the board? Ms. Miller, just one for me. You talked about the Teen Challenge program in Milwaukee, and sounds like you got sober there. Have you been sober since that time in 2013?
Yes.
Okay.
I have been.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Reverend Hancock.
Just a follow-up. How do you maintain your sobriety?
I think I have a really good support system. My fiance is a good support system. My family is, and my church helps me. It's really, I think, my faith. And then I exercise. There are certain things that need to be in my routine. And so if I stick to my routine, I find myself doing very well. And I did do a lot of therapy too. I haven't had to for a couple years. I've been okay, but I guess there, like one time where my sobriety was really tested is when my mom passed away, and that was about 6 years ago. And I thank God that I had my son there too, because he encouraged me to keep making the right decision and not to go down that path. And God carried me through that, and that would have been the point. I thought I would have made the mistake of turning back to it, but I didn't. But that would have been it. And I made
Thank
it.
you.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Miller? All right. Thank you, Ms. Miller. I appreciate your time today, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Next up, we have Travis Casper. Mr. Casper?
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. Hi, my name is Travis Casper. I just want to start by saying thank you for this opportunity. I am seeking a pardon for vehicle operator fleeing elude officer. On August 21st, 2004, I was on my way to work and running late. I was speeding when an officer started following me and tried to pull me over. I panicked and because I didn't have a valid driver's license due to prior speeding tickets. Instead of making the right choice, I made a poor decision and tried to get away. Not long after I got to work, officer found me and arrested me. I admitted right away that I had fled and cooperated fully. I regretted what I did immediately, even before taken into custody, but I knew I had to face the consequences. I was sentenced to 40 days in county jail with work release, 2 years of probation, and 6 months license revocation. Spending time in jail was a tough experience and a wake-up call that really changed my life. Since then, I've worked hard to turn my life around. I've kept a completely clean record for over 20 years and haven't had any further charges. I've always stayed employed and have been working at Alliant Energy for over 10 years. I also work a second job at Schmidt Farms. I'm married and have 2 kids who mean everything to me, and I stay very involved in their lives. I help coach youth sports and volunteer in my community by helping with school events, concession stands, and maintaining local ball fields. I'm asking for this pardon because I truly believe I've shown that I've changed. I've spent the last 20 years working hard, staying out of trouble, being there for my family and community. I learned the hard way that one bad decision can have lasting consequences. That's not who I am anymore, and I've worked every day to prove that. My goal is to keep giving back and possibly serve on our town board someday. Being granted a pardon would give me the chance to fully move forward without this mistake from my past holding me back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Casper. Questions from the board? Mr. Casper, just one for me. You talked about how you were running late from work, but I note in the criminal complaint that later you were given a blood alcohol test, and it seemed that you either were drinking at work or you were intoxicated at the time you were driving to work. Could you talk a little bit about that?
That was from the previous night, and that's why I was running late for work. I overslept I was out too late from the night before.
Okay, so it was drinking the night before, but you probably, just based on the 0.078 and the time period here, you were probably intoxicated when you were driving to work. Did that play into the decision to run from the police, do you think?
Yeah, probably. Along with not having a valid license at the time.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with alcohol now?
I do it regularly, just on occasion, but that's about it.
Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to ask you a little bit about is where do you drink? Do you go out to bars? Do you drink with friends? Is it at home? And then what do you what is your plan for, getting home safely, things like that?
Mostly just like at family gatherings. I don't go out to bars and drink or nothing like that. Just kind of when we go on out family gatherings. And then I don't drive. My wife drives, or we ride with friends if we go somewhere like out to eat on occasion.
Okay, thank you.
I have a valid CDL license, which I don't want to, for my work and everything. I don't want to lose that. So
That makes sense. Great. Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Casper. That covers it from us. I appreciate your time and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
thank you. You too.
Thank you. Okay. So I want to do one more call for Tanya Allen. Tanya Allen, do we have you with us in the Zoom? Okay, I do not see Miss Allen. So, Mr. Paulhammer, I take it that your attorney is not yet here. We are certainly happy to push you into our afternoon session so that she can accompany you and pick up with you at 1 o'clock. Otherwise, if you have plans this afternoon or you prefer to be heard now, we're certainly willing to do that as well. Oh, and I'm sorry, you're muted, Mr. Paulhammer.
No, we can wait until this afternoon.
Okay. Are you available at 1 o'clock?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. We'll start with you then. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Nope, that's absolutely fine. Understand. Okay, and then with Mr. Paulhammer moved to the afternoon, Mr. Casper is our last applicant of the morning session. So at this point, I will entertain a motion from the board to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute, section 19.85, sub 1, sub A, sub D, and sub F for purposes of deliberations concerning specific cases before the board, considering specific applications, and considering financial, medical, social, and or personal histories of specific persons. Do I have a motion? Anthony, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Eric. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion carries, and board members will ask you to give us just a moment to stop our live stream. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're just coming in from the Zoom waiting room, we're going to give everyone a minute to get in and get connected to audio, and we'll start momentarily. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're just joining us, we are going to give everyone a minute to get connected, get our live stream started, and we will start in just a minute.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
We can, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have everyone in, so good afternoon. We'll go ahead and get started. My name is Mel Barnes. I am the governor's chief legal counsel and the chair of his pardon advisory board. I'm going to introduce my fellow board members, go through just a little bit of housekeeping about how this afternoon's hearing will work, and then we'll get started hearing from all of you. So with us today in the Zoom, we have board member Professor Eric Libertor, who teaches paralegal students from around the world in the University of Cincinnati's online program. He previously served as a supervising attorney at Disability Rights Wisconsin, focused on public benefits eligibility, and in the governor's office. We have board member Anthony Cooper Sr., who is the CEO of Focused Interruption, an organization dedicated to interrupting the devastating cycle of violence with the help of the community. Mr. Cooper received a pardon from Governor Evers in January of 2021. And we have board member Nadia Perez-Reyes, who is the Deputy Secretary for the Department of Children and Families. She previously served as a public defender and as an attorney for Legal Action of Wisconsin. And finally, we have board member Reverend Jerry Hancock, who is the director of the Prison Ministry Project. He previously served as a public defender, a deputy district attorney, and as an administrator for the Department of Justice's Division of Law Enforcement Services. So just a couple notes about today's hearing and how it will work. First, please know that today's hearing is being live streamed via Wisconsin Eye and YouTube. For that reason, we're going to ask you to keep your cameras off and yourself muted until it is your turn to speak to the board. That way we can focus on the person who's presenting and make sure we have good quality audio. If you do have any IT issues with the Zoom, don't worry. Someone from staff will give you a call and reach out. We'll help you troubleshoot. If it means we need to come back to you because Zoom isn't cooperating in the moment, we can certainly do that. Otherwise, we're going to call on folks in the order listed in the agenda and open meeting notice. And each applicant will have about 5 minutes total with the board. We're going to ask you to spend the first 3 of those minutes speaking to the questions that you were sent in advance of today's hearing. So as a reminder, those are to first, please give us a brief summary of the offense that you're seeking a pardon for and how your sentence went. We're not here to retry the crime. You don't need to minimize your involvement. We just want to hear from you in your own words what happened. Second, to give us a brief summary of what you've done since the completion of your sentence, community involvement, employment, essentially where you're at now and how your life is different than the time of your offense. And third, finally, a brief statement about why you're seeking a pardon and why you think the governor should grant you one. The board may or may not have follow-up questions for you once you've spent about 3 minutes covering those topics. Don't read too much into it either way if we do or don't have questions for you. As you know, your application materials are very thorough and we've spent a lot of time with those ahead of today's hearing. If we do have questions though, we want to make sure that we get to those so that we can get a thorough recommendation to the governor. Once you're done answering any follow-up questions that we have for you, you're welcome to sign off and leave the Zoom hearing. Once everyone's been heard, the board will meet in closed session and decide whether or not to recommend your application for a pardon to Governor Evers. Governor Evers will then make the final decision on whether or not to grant you a pardon, and either way, you'll be notified about the outcome of today's hearing about 1 to 2 months from today. So we know you've been patient just to get to hearing day. We thank you for bearing with us just a little bit longer so we can get those recommendations to the governor. With that, we'll go ahead and get started. Our first applicant this afternoon is going to be someone we have moved over from the morning hearing, Brian Paulhammer. Mr. Paulhammer, we're ready to hear from you.
Thank you. And this is Attorney Natalie Wisco appearing with Mr. Paulhammer. I do thank the board for its special accommodations considering court this morning went a bit awry as far as timing goes. Here, Mr. Paulhammer, the offense at issue in this part of proceeding is for an offense which now occurred over 24 years ago.
Attorney Wisco, I'm sorry to interrupt you, and we're happy to have you here. I think the board would really prefer to hear from Mr. Paulhammer in his own words, if he's able to speak to those questions.
Yes, is the then answering, explaining in your own words what happened. First start, Mr. Paulhammer.
So 20 some years ago, I was involved with a robbery, and I had gotten caught with them, and I guess I don't know how to put it. I guess I got caught and did a robbery with some people and was a party to the crime of it.
And then Mr.
I understand from our materials, it looks like you were about 18 at the time. Could you just tell us a little bit about what happened that day, if you remember?
Well, I mean, I was hanging out with some people and we decided to go do whatever, and I was with them, and we I guess got caught with stolen stuff, and I guess kind of the gist of it. We got in trouble, and I did what I did, and I'm trying to make better for myself.
Okay, great. And could you tell us a little bit about what you've done since the completion of your sentence, what you do now, whether it's employment or community involvement?
I've started multiple businesses. I have 2 kids that I've raised to teach the right from wrong, for they didn't go down the same paths I did. We do stuff that involves stuff with even like trying to get new accounts with the military stuff. And with doing that, I can't even put my name on some of that stuff. Even little stuff as far as like the Better Business Bureau, it's a hit to it for having my name on that kind of stuff. And my business has perfect reviews and stuff on it. I donate for the town for their for their kids' night out stuff. Just stuff like that.
Thank you. Okay, and I think that covers it a bit
Yeah.
of the third question as well, as far as why you're
I
seeking
mean,
a pardon.
I've been in
Your
business now since this happened. I had to straighten myself out, and then after a couple years in the business, I had 2 kids that were on the way. So, you know, I mean, I haven't gotten in trouble with anything else since then to try to keep myself straight.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Wisco, is there anything else you want your client to speak to before I open it up to questions from the board?
Sure. Just as far as the probation went, is your sentence, Mr. Paulhammer, was probation. Can you just explain how probation went and issues regarding restitution in the case?
So at the time of probation, they put me on probation, and then I had to pay all the restitution to be able to get off of the probation. I ended up paying for the other 2 parties that were involved in the crime. They've never been refunded for any of it, nor would I ever ask to get a refund on it at this point. I just kind of want to get it behind myself.
And Mr. Paulhammer, so have you paid all of the restitution? It looks like about $2,700 was ordered. You paid that?
Correct. And if the other people had paid back into it, I believe it was more than that. I don't know if at that time the other people, when they got off of probation, ended up paying into the other part of it. I don't know how it all worked after that. I mean, honestly, after I was off probation, I was already into business for I think 3 years at that point. I wasn't really concerned about the other part of it at that point.
Okay, understood. All right, and we'll open up to questions from the board. Board members? Reverend Hancock?
The other 2 people that were arrested with you had been involved in stealing a bunch of guns and filing off the serial numbers. Is that right?
That's what my understanding was.
Right. And when you were arrested in the convenience store, you explained to the police that they had the guns and what had happened. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so after you were taken into custody, you were helping the police solve those other crimes and recover those guns.
That would be correct.
Okay, thank you.
Understood. And
Other
smoking is in
questions from
here.
the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Paulhammer. I think that covers it from us. Appreciate your time today, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, we have Kevin Jackson. Mr. Jackson?
Hello.
Hello. We can hear you, Mr. Jackson. We can't see you yet. Are you able to turn on your video?
Yes.
There we go.
Hello. Okay, I have my notes here that I want to start. I'm just a little nervous. It's a
That's
long time.
absolutely fine. Go right ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Jackson. In January 2017, I was convicted of retail theft as a party to a crime. I was given 2 years of probation with 75 hours of community service and to enter an AODA program with restitution to be determined. Upon completion of my probation, my party to a crime will be expunged. Unfortunately, I wasn't given clear information as to what was supposed to be done upon completion. It wasn't until the summer of 2020 when I got a job working for Milwaukee County. After working just 1 week, I was told I had a retail theft as a party to a crime on my record, so they ended my employment. Unfortunately, at this time of the crime, I was heavily addicted to heroin. My judgment was severely impaired, which led to the terrible mistake that I deeply regret. I am truly sorry for my actions and harm I've caused. There is no excuse for what I did, and I take full responsibility for my poor impaired decision. I understand the gravity of my actions and the impact that it has had on others. My behavior was unacceptable, and I am deeply ashamed of my conduct. Since my conviction, I've worked hard to turn my life around. I have overcome my addiction to heroin by taking a Vivitrol shot for 2 years, along with therapy. As of today, I have been clean of drugs for 8 years plus. I am committed to continue my sobriety and growth as a better person. My mother, grandmother, and my godmother is such a great support to me. As a child, my father was brutally mean to me. Although this isn't an excuse for my actions, I mentioned who my father was to say I am very pleased to say I now have a father-son relationship I've always yearned to have as a child. As of today, we built a solid relationship over the past 6 years. I've worked various temporary jobs since my conviction, although, as I stated in my introduction, I lost a good job because of my felony retail theft party to a crime conviction. In July 2024, my temporary construction job ended because they didn't have any more work. I found a program to help with obtaining a CDL license, hoping to obtain employment. Upon completion of the program and receiving my CDL driver's license, I was able to find a job in March 2025, which I am currently working. I have a son now, and he's my world, along with his mom. I want to be the best father and role model and allow him to experience different things in life that I didn't. My mom says if you teach a child how to fish and hunt, they will never go hungry. In closing, I continue my sobriety. My father and I have a great relationship. I've continued support from my mother, grandmother, and godmother. I am a changed man since my conviction and dedicated to living a positive and productive life. A pardon would allow me to seek city or county employment with better benefits and be able to take my son hunting. I'm respectfully asking for compassion and mercy and granting my request for a pardon, and I am determined to be an upright citizen. Thank you for considering me for a pardon hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Board members, any questions for Mr. Jackson? Eric.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. Since your conviction, it looks like in your record there might have been 2 other arrests, and I want to be clear, these don't lead to convictions. It doesn't look like there were any charges prosecuted, but I was wondering if you could tell the board more about those. So the first one is in 2018. It looks like misdemeanor battery with a domestic abuse modifier.
Okay, basically the person that I was in a relationship was very verbally abusive and physically abusive. So there was a situation where basically they were hitting on me and things of that nature. She actually bit me, and because I was on probation, they took me in, considering they saying I wasn't supposed to have any communication or be around any police of that manner. So
okay.
That's what happened.
Okay. And then in 2019, it looks like there were a few different charges. Second-degree recklessly endangering safety, vehicle operator, flee, elude, traffic officer, and then maybe possession of THC.
The same person that I was with, I wasn't supposed to be with him. It was a part of my probation after the situation that you just said happened. And I had just got off probation, and I knew that it wouldn't be in the system right away. So basically what I'm saying is if I was arrested, they would say, like, they would look up my name and say, hey, you're not supposed to be around this person or whatever, and you're on probation. I would have went to jail, and I didn't want to go to jail at that time because I'm like, I paid my debt to society. I'm on probation, and I know the police is not going to go by what I say verbally to them. They're going to look at the computer and say, hey, this is on the computer. This has to happen. and that's it. So it was a stupid decision, but it was just basically off pure fear.
All right. Thank you.
Anthony?
Mr. Jackson, I'm just wondering, are you currently still in a relationship with her?
No,
Okay.
not at all. No.
Thank you.
Reverend Hancock, did you have one as well? No, okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. I think that covers it from us. I appreciate your time and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
All right, you as well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Next up, we have Mary Carson. Ms. Carson?
Can you hear me?
We can. We can't see you if you're able to turn your camera on.
Yeah,
There
I'm
we go.
turning it on now. I'm sorry. It's
Perfect.
just had a little moment.
Oh, and Ms. Carson, we're having just a little trouble with your audio. Can you try speaking again? Hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're a little frozen.
Is that better?
I think so. I think we might just have a little bit of a lag. Why don't you go ahead? I'll interrupt you if we can't hear you.
Am I frozen now?
Yeah. There we go. Oh. I'll tell you what, Ms. Carson, maybe actually try turning off your video and let's see if we can just hear you clearly.
What am
I think you're
I
cutting.
now?
Oh. Okay, try
Hello?
speaking now. I think
Can you
that's
hear me
better,
now?
Ms. Carson. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why my video is not coming on.
That's okay. I think as long as we can hear you, it seems like maybe that's working better. Why don't you just go ahead?
Okay, so good evening. My name is Mary Carson. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, this chance. I prepared a written statement. I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous myself because it's
That's
been a
okay. Take
minute
your time.
since I've talked around people like this. So I would like to be pardoned for my, and this is my one and only conviction that I received 3 years of probation on, which I had completed with no problem. I was 21 years old at the time of the case, and I was staying with my foster mother. I was in special ed program. I was not fully able to understand my surroundings. I was dating this guy who lied to me about his mom being sick and needed money. When I could give him some money, when I couldn't give him any money, he started to threaten me. So one night, the same night, my mom asked me to go into the room to find a rat, and I came across some money, and I took the money and gave it to him. And I'm so sorry that I stole the
Ms. Carson, could you tell us a little bit about what you've done since your
foster mom
conviction?
who forgave me for
Ms. Carson, I'm sorry. I think we're having some audio issues. I may have cut you off.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry. I currently was working at Wisconsin Lutheran College, and I'm doing a food service. I've been there since 2024, and I also volunteer at Scott Christian Young Youth and Power Prayer Deliverance Temple, and I've been there since 2017. I would like to be paroled so I can have a better job, better business, and own my own restaurant someday. I applied at a nursing home and got denied due to my conviction record. And I love especially soul food, and my best thing is lasagna. I would like to open my own restaurant. And it's been almost 19 years since my eviction. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carson. I'll open up to questions from the board. Board members? Reverend Hancock.
Ms. Carson, can you tell us about the relationship you had with your stepmother after you stole the money?
We had a great relationship.
Can you tell us about a little more about how that went? What made it great?
So, like I said, my mom became ill. She got to the point where she couldn't feed herself or walk. I had to help her with that and help her change herself and give her a bath and everything. And
were you still living with her at that point?
Yes, at the point, yeah. I was living on my own, but my sister asked me to come back and help with my mom, and I said yes, and my mom said yes. So we got the chance to spend the last 5 to 6 years with each other, and we got to know each other all over again.
Okay. And one more thing, the district attorney in Milwaukee County who reviewed your application for a pardon supports your getting a pardon. Now, Governor Evers will make the final decision, but how does that support make you feel?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
That the DA's office in Milwaukee County thinks you should get a pardon. How does that make you feel?
It would be a blessing because I'm a whole new person. I'm a whole lot better than I was when I was coming up. I understand a lot of stuff that I did wrong, and it would be a blessing to me.
Thank you.
Ms. Carson, I just want to ask you one question. It looks like in addition to being put on probation, you were ordered to pay back the $10,000 that you took. Were you able to pay that back?
I was able to pay some, but not all of it because I didn't have jobs like I wanted to. The jobs that were paying me wasn't enough to cover what I needed to pay back. But in privacy, when I did get a better job, I paid back my mom slowly, but I don't think I got to where I needed to get to.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you, Ms. Carson. That covers everything from us, and we hope you enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Next up, we have Christina Cunningham. Ms. Cunningham? Ms. Cunningham, do we have you with us in the Zoom? Okay. In the meantime, let's go on to Brad Elwing. Mr. Elwing.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Elwing.
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can.
Awesome. I just want to say my name is Brad Elwing. I'm 44 years old, and I'm seeking a pardon for a crime I committed 28 years ago. Some people and I broke into multiple garages and stole property that didn't belong to us. I don't have no good reason for doing it. I was young, I was dumb, hanging around with the wrong people. I went to prison for my crimes, and it scared me pretty good. While in prison, I worked in the kitchen. I studied. I got my HSED. Then I went to boot camp for early release. In boot camp, I did everything I was supposed to do. I was released after 2 years of imprisonment of boot camp. Since being released, I always had a job. I paid off all my restitution. I even got my probation. I even got off probation 4 years early, recommended by my probation officer. Since completing my sentence, I worked in the construction and metal polishing field for a long time, but now I've been involved in real estate, and I bought and sold properties. I currently have 2 rental properties. Most of my time has been in the automotive field, which I was self-taught. I started an automotive business 11 years ago, which is still doing well. I recently purchased a second automotive shop, which I'm redoing currently. I became a dad 6 years ago, and we was recently awarded 50% custody. As for the community involvement, I've been a sponsor for my nephew's basketball team, as well as the New Berlin Soapbox Derby. I donate to them. I shovel some of my elderly neighbors' snow whenever it snows, because I know they can't do it. I help out friends and family members with automotive repairs for little to no money. I also purchased multiple cars and gave them to my family members that needed them. I think I should receive a pardon because I committed the crime a long time ago. It has been 28 years, and I'm not the same person anymore. I learned, I grow from my mistakes, and I'm truly very sorry for any crime or any harm that I hurt others and my family. I'm truly sorry for that. And I would like to get my real estate license, and I do not want my crime history to hold me back. Furthermore, I would also like to volunteer with my son's school, go on field trips and do school events, but I know they do background checks. I'm afraid they will not let me be involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Elwing. Questions from the board? Go ahead, Reverend Hancock.
The DA's office in Milwaukee County reviewed your application for a pardon, and they support your getting a pardon. Now, Governor Evers will make the final decision, but how does that support make you feel?
Makes me feel blessed that I've been doing the right thing, that they feel the same way.
And a couple other questions. You were 16 when you committed these crimes?
Yes, sir.
And were you then waived into adult court?
Yes, sir.
And how old were you when you went to prison?
17.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? All right. Thank you, Mr. Elwing. That covers it from us. Appreciate your time today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, next we have Daniel Torno. Mr. Torno?
I'm Daniel Torno. Summary of my offense is delivery of THC. This happened 11 years ago, and it was a bad decision on my part. I did a favor for a friend's friend, and I found out it was foolish. They were in trouble at the time, and they came back and got me for it. They put me on 60 days in jail, and that definitely wakes you up. It was definitely learned my lesson when I was there, and ever since I've been clean of any type of activity, nothing illegal, and I'm raising by myself. I raised my son is 17 now. I've had placement most of his life, and had always helped out at school as far as carpooling to different sporting events or to his friend's house or have his friends over. And his grades have always been very proficient, so I feel I'm doing a good job with him. His mother's not around at all. But getting back to my offense, yeah, I've worked hard every day ever since. I've been in the workforce for 42 years. I own my own house. And I feel I deserve a pardon for the fact that I spent 11 years and I've kept everything with no criminal action. And I would like to move up and improve myself in the workforce. And I retired a year ago, but I want to get back to working to get some extra money to help us out. And to try to get a job nowadays with a felony is pretty rough, which I'm finding out. And I definitely learned my lesson off of this. And I feel that I would deserve a pardon. And I would be thankful. I'll be thankful to you people for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Torno. Questions from the board? Eric.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. It looks like in 2021, you may have been arrested for possession of THC and possession of drug paraphernalia. I want to note this doesn't lead to a conviction. It looks like any charges got dismissed. But I was wondering if there was anything you could tell the board about that.
All that was somebody else had left that in my truck. I had no idea that was going on, and they went. I was over the speed limit, and when they pulled me over, they went through my truck, which I was totally surprised about. I ended up getting a lawyer for that, and we got that cleared up. So what they gave me a open intoxicant because the day before, me and a friend were fishing, and then while we were fishing, I didn't know, but he threw a empty bottle in the back of my truck in my back seat, and they consider that having beer in it, and so they tacked that on for open intoxicants. But as far as the paraphernalia and the marijuana, that all got dropped, so it was proven it wasn't mine. So.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Torno. Appreciate your time today, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, and I believe we have Mrs. Cunningham in the Zoom now. Ms. Cunningham, we're ready to hear from you.
Unmute. Hi.
Hello, we can hear you. We can't see you quite yet.
I'm trying to right now. Okay, there I go. Hi. I want to, first of all, I want to say, see, I'm be like my anxiety kind of be like when I'm in front of people, but I'm here and my respectful, but I gotta read it because I worked hard on the same time. So good afternoon. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. My name is Christina Cunningham, and I am here before you with humanity and deep remorse for my past actions. I take full responsibilities for my misappropriation offense of overbilling that led to my conviction. There is no excuse for what I did. I truly regret the harm and disappointment for my actions. I received 2 years in prison. I had 4 years extended supervision, and I paid my $83,000 restitution in full. Since my conviction, I worked hard to rebuild my life with integrity and purpose. I've obtained my administration credentials, that I am an administrator in my field. I'm currently a CBRF trainer, so I train people who want to be certified in community-based residential facilities. For the past 13 years, I've worked constantly in leadership roles as a house manager, administrator, and serving vulnerable populations and upholding standards that's expected in my field. I have had no further legal issues since my conviction, and I have made it a priority to live my life honestly, responsibly, and productive. I carry a deep sense of remorse for my past actions, and I understand how serious my offense was. The experience has changed me, and I made a commitment to never put myself in that position again. Although I worked hard to move forward in my conviction, it still affects me on my day-to-day. It creates barriers that causes others to view me based on my past rather than the person that I have become. I'm respectfully asking for a second chance, not to erase my past, but to allow my present and my future to reflect the growth, responsibilities, and contributions that I have made over the years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cunningham. Questions from the board? Reverend Hancock, go ahead.
Ms. Cunningham, good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
Can you briefly say what's changed since the last time you applied for a pardon?
Well, basically, I'm just growing and developing in my life. I had a son. That was my first son. I had him. He has autism. So I've been basically working and taking care of a child that has a disability. My husband was killed 9 years ago. So it's just me taking care of him. And I just want to better myself as a person. I don't want to continue to be looked down upon with my background. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I had a meeting, and the people was looking at, and they said, tell me about your criminal conviction. So you tell them about that. And it's just like, it don't reflect me as who I am. I don't get into trouble. I never got into trouble before my conviction. I never been a trouble child. Okay. I'm 46 years old, but I'll be 47.
And we heard that the first time, and you had great letters of support.
Yes.
And now the DA's office in Milwaukee supports your getting a pardon. How does that make you feel?
That they support it?
Yes.
It makes me feel good. Right. It's an honor, because the last time they was against it.
All right. But I do have a question for you.
Yes.
In both your first application and this application, you were convicted of stealing money intended to provide childcare for families in need. And that kind of theft puts those programs, the public support for those programs, at risk. And there's nothing in your application, the first time or this time, when you acknowledge the harm that stealing that money causes. And why didn't you talk about that?
I thought statements that I was taking the responsibility for my actions, because, and he also, even with paying it back, I mean, sir, respectfully, I learned greatly. I'm never going to do nothing like that again. It was just, like I say, it was the overbilling portion where, like you said, stealing, and it took, that's what it was. It was basically stealing with due to a billing issue. So I take full responsibilities in my actions of stealing, sir, and it'll never happen again. I have not done it. I'm not a thief. I don't go into nobody's stores, and I'm not gonna do nothing like that again. I've been working in my field, and they trust me to do things like, just with people, information and things like that. So I'm not a crook, sir. I just want another chance.
Okay, so you now admit that you were stealing that money, because in your applications, you have tried to claim there was just a mistake. There was overbilling, but now you're taking.
Yes, I take for, because if that's the case, if it's that's just what you said, stealing. I said misappropriation, but if that's how we're looking at it, theft is stealing.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions from the board? Ms. Cunningham, just one from me. It looks like in 2010, there was a harassment restraining order filed against you. Could you tell us a little bit about what was happening there?
2010, well, it was dealing with a young man. The young man and the young lady, she was kind of like, she was doing it to me. So she ended up getting locked up for it. And then so the PO office was tired of me calling them, because the lady wouldn't stop doing it. So the PO had her to, in return, get a restraining order on me, so I wouldn't be able to call the office about her. And that's what it was, because I never really knew the young lady. She came to my job, and I had the daycare, and she came in there, and she asked for a tour. And then I gave her a tour, not even knowing that she was somebody that was not supposed to be there for a tour. She was just, it was kind of crazy, creepy after the fact. So that's what happened. And I found out that the young lady was dating my current boyfriend, and that she wanted, that's how I got that issue. Not because of nothing of me harming anybody. When I say I never been in trouble, I never been in trouble. I never been to jail. Never so much as got be into the districts or none of that. I've never been in trouble.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Cunningham.
No
Other
worries.
questions from the board? Okay, I think that covers it all from us then. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You also. Bye-bye.
Okay, next up we have Antonio Smith. Mr. Smith?
Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
Excellent. Go right ahead, Mr. Smith.
Okay, I got a statement here, prepared. My name is Antonio Smith. At the time of the crime, I was 17 years of age. I was charged with the delivery of controlled substance. I was placed on probation for 2.5 years. I completed all classes that I was supposed to complete. I completed probation with no violations, and also paid restitution fees, and was released from probation early. Since that incident, I have obtained my high school diploma. I also obtained my associate degree in business administration, and I also have a bachelor's in business management. And in the process of going to college, I did join a fraternity called Delta Psi Chi Fraternity Incorporated, where they focus on education, community involvement. As far as community involvement, we do have a youth program where we deal with the youth and talk to them and stuff like that. I also have an all-male facility where I help low-income individuals and give them resources as far as like big step, resume, helping out with resumes and jobs and stuff like that. And for the last 7 years, I opened up a plumbing company. It's called Scooters Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. And then also I have an Airbnb. I've been running that for the last 2 years, and I have 5 children. I have 2 of them that's in college as of right now. One of them is going to school for business. The other one is going to school for illustration at MyAd. And I have another kid that's a junior in high school at Vincent High School to be graduating next year. I'm a homeowner. I believe in providing stability for my family. From the incident, from all the incidents and stuff, I have been seeking out to a therapist as well. So I do see a therapist for the things that I have gone through. At the time of the conviction, I was 17 years of age. I made a major mistake, and I understand what I have done wasn't the best decision. I was surrounded around people who I thought was good role models as a kid. You really do not know the bad things you have done until it's too late. I've had to live with this mistake my whole adult life. I never had a fighting chance. My mom and father were both drug users, and I was abandoned. I was just looking for a way. I was just looking for a way out, and to feed myself and my younger siblings. Around this time, my grandmother passed away. That was my only support system, and also I was dealing with my brother committing suicide, my oldest brother. We were mistreated by my aunt. We had to stay with her, but I'm a 40-year-old man. I understand what I've done do not only affect me, but it also damages other families by selling drugs in the community. I've learned a valuable lesson, and I am asking for a second chance. I was a kid, and I am asking for a second chance at life. I am not the kid from 23 years ago. I am a 40-year-old man who knows better and looking for a second chance. I'm a changed person. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Questions from the board? Eric?
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. In your application, you provided an explanation for a number of other law enforcement contacts since this conviction. It looks like there was in 2025 a domestic abuse restraining order filed against you that was granted and then vacated about a month later. Without using anybody's name, is there anything that you could tell the board about that 2025 case?
So basically what happened is I was breaking up, and she decided to go down there and pretty much put a strain on some lies or something. I didn't even know it was lifted, to be honest.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Smith, you talk about a couple of incidents in your application, as my fellow board member alluded to, domestic abuse incidents in 2006, 2009, 2011, and 2018, and then this 2025 one. Are those all with the same person?
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Okay.
So when I was 19, I had my first child with my first mother child. I was young. I was 19 and wasn't, kind of ready to be a dad type of thing. And we kind of had a little argument or whatever. And we went to, she filed a restraining order on me or whatever. It was some false allegations, to be honest. And I actually said, I think we probably need some time apart, so that's why they granted this.
Okay. Other questions from the board? All right, thank you, Mr. Smith. I think that covers everything from us. I appreciate your time and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
All right, so thank you.
Next up, we have Marshall Locke. Mr. Locke.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, Mr. Locke. We can hear you. We can't see you quite yet.
Okay, you
Here
good
we
now?
Mhm.
Okay. I have a statement prepared here.
Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Marshall Locke, and I'm very grateful to be appearing before you today. Thank you for this opportunity to share my story with you. I am both humbled and grateful for this chance to briefly outline where I have been and where I am today. I am here today seeking pardon for my 2014 conviction of possession of narcotics when I was 20 years old. I am now 32, and I firmly believe I stand before you changed and a much better man than I was more than a decade ago. My offense took place at Kewaskum High School. I had just dropped off my younger brother, Matthew, at the high school, but he soon called me back, asking him if I could bring him a single Percocet. He told me to place it inside a Snickers bar and put it in a lunch bag. I reluctantly agreed to his request, drove back to the school, and handed him the bag to front office staff. They must have become suspicious because I appeared very nervous. When the pill was discovered, I panicked and snatched the candy bar from the person's hand and ran. When I got to my car, I wisely decided not to drive off or eat the pill. The front office person confronted me in my car, and I handed the bar with the pill in it back to him. When the police arrived, they questioned me and released me until my court date. I was homeless at the time and did not handle myself well in court. I was just plain stupid and did not understand the seriousness of what was happening. I was not prepared and did not explain my situation well. I was found guilty and was ultimately given 3 years of probation. I had no idea at the time what tragic repercussions I would suffer for that one bad decision. I had become a felon. I want everyone to know how truly sorry I am for bringing that poison inside that school. I understand that narcotics abuse has fractured communities and ruined so many lives. Every day since then, I am reminded about how I was a negative influence on my brother's life. I should have been a better big brother and helped him do the right thing. I deserve to be punished for that. I regret that I caused a great deal of trouble and stress to the office staff at Kewaskum High School. They loved their school, and what I was doing was trying to hurt its reputation. I know now that the staff member who caught me that day actually did me a big favor. I was finally scared straight and ready to begin my life to get back on track. I am forever grateful that no one was hurt and that I was caught. Soon after my sentencing, I decided to get help with my substance abuse problem. I needed more than just getting clean. I needed my entire life to transform. In 2014, I admitted myself in Teen Challenge of Milwaukee. The program lasted a year, but I stayed there another year after finishing the program. I found work and could continue to live there and get support. Since completing the program, I have been focused on staying sober. I can proudly say I have no drugs or alcohol for over 2 years. I am supporting myself with full-time work. I worked at the West Bend Company for 6 years. I am now employed as a press brake operator at SeaTech in Weston. I have been there for over a year. I am proud of my employment record, and I'm so thankful for the people that gave me a chance to prove myself. I have my own car and apartment, which is great. I attend Highland Community Church regularly, and I've gotten to know so many people through weekly Bible study. I have friends who are looking out for me. The church community has also provided me with many opportunities to give back through volunteer work, such as feed my starving children and donating gifts during Christmas. I would also like to tell you that I realized I needed more education to finally begin a career that I am truly interested in. In January, I was accepted into the Network Technician degree program. I am studying to master hardware configuration and enhance network security. I am very excited to complete this. I had no idea how much work it would be, but I love it. I need to manage my time carefully to find time to study, earn great grades while working full-time. I hope I have convinced you that I have been rehabilitated through completing Teen Challenge, finding stable employment, and a future fulfilling career. I am thankful for the love and support and encouragement from my church, my friends, and my family. I know that having this felony pardon will make my future brighter. I know I need a clean record to land a job in my specialized computer field. Receiving a pardon would help me obtain a more preferable place to live and even buy a house someday. Additionally, my dates have a hard time trusting me when they find out I'm a felon. With a pardon, I am confident I will have a much better chance at finding my significant other. When others look me up on CCAP, I want them to see that I have been marked with the governor, saying that I have been forgiven and rehabilitated. I want everyone who meets me to be able to trust me completely. My final reason that I think I should receive a pardon is for my own peace of mind. Even though I am not incarcerated, I still feel like I was given a life sentence. There have been days where all I can think about is what I have done to ruin my life. With a pardon, I will be able to truly move on with my life. I need you all to know that I am totally responsible for what happened, and I take accountability for my actions. I blame no one but myself. Thank you for listening. I greatly appreciate your kind consideration in this matter. It means the world to me.
Thank you, Mr. Locke.
Yeah.
Questions from the board? Seeing none, I believe you've covered it all. Thank you for your time, Mr. Locke. Appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, and our next applicant this afternoon is Monroe Mitchell.
Okay, can you hear me pretty good, everybody?
We can.
Okay, once again, good afternoon to all the members on the board. And I'm truly thankful and grateful to have this opportunity, sincerely, to be able to speak to you and to have the opportunity of receiving a pardon. For the most part, I grew up mostly in Kenosha. I graduated from high school in the late 70s, and I went on to the military from 1980 to 1983 active. 83 to 86, I was in the Wisconsin National Guard, somewhat the same as the reserve. Did the commitment time. But when I was inactive in the National Guard, towards the middle of, kind of like right around the middle of the end of the 80s, I started really experimenting a lot with cocaine and drinking a little bit heavier and things like that. And then as I kind of spiraled down and went more into the 90s, I felt my addiction getting even worse, requiring more time, more money, more energy, and so forth. So in 1994, October, actually, I sold drugs to undercover Kenosha police officers, for the most part, to pretty much to supply my habit, where I could make a few dollars, I could get some for myself. Like I said, yeah, that was 1994. In 1995, February, I went to court and I got bonded out. I'm sorry, go back to October 94, got bonded out for $5,000. I was out for like a year. Then I went back to court in late 95. In early 1996, February, I turned myself into the Kenosha safety building, Kenosha County Jail. After that, I was sentenced to 4 years. 4 years in prison. And I turned myself in, and I'm getting a little kind of thrown back. It's been a little while. February of 1996, I was sentenced to 4 years in prison. I did about 17 months while I was in. I completed like ALDA programs, criminal thinking, cognitive thinking, and so forth. So I was able to get out. Instead of do the 4 years, I did like 17 months. I got out with a grant. I got out early for good behavior. When I got out in 1997, July 1997, things were going real well, but I relapsed pretty bad, like towards the holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas of 97. And then in 1998, that's when I kind of had more of a wake-up call as far as the drugs and the alcohol. And I did an outpatient program. It was a Genesis behavior program from February 98 to July of 98. And I thank God I've been clean ever since then. So while I was in the program, I turned my life over to Christ, and I became a born-again Christian. And then in 2000, I completed all my finances and all my all my programs, outpatient programs and everything like that. I completed the 2-year commitment, and I was finally discharged from everything in March of 2000. Okay, and since then, since I've been out, I've turned my life once again. I went back to college in 2009. I tried it before, and I went back part-time as a part-time student while I was still driving semis locally, full-time, and raising my family with my kids and so forth. So therefore, I went to Gateway Technical College, and I did receive my degree in human services. And also, while I was in that program, I worked as a SACIT, substance abuse counselor in training, because I wanted to kind of give back all these years I had been taking and, drugging and drinking. And I wind up doing, I did so much time. I worked at the Racine County Jail. I did my internship there, a little bit with Zimmerman Consulting Company. And then when I graduated in 2009, I started doing some more like jail ministry and so forth. I'm sorry, let me go back. Because in 2004, while I was still in school, no, I wasn't in school yet. 2004, I received a disorderly conduct charge with my ex-wife and my previous stepson. It was a verbal incident. It was a verbal dispute. Everybody was getting loud. I got the loudest. It started out actually with my, at that time, teenage stepson. We didn't push or shove or anything. We both got pretty loud. I thought he was being disrespectful, got chaotic. And one of the kids of the neighbors called the police. And I believe me being bigger in nature and stature and also with a, much a deep voice. And also at the time, I had completed everything, but the felony was still there. So I went down. I stayed in jail for about maybe like about 3 hours. I got bonded out. I received a fine, and I think they ran the probation concurrent for a year. Then, as I moved on in 2009, I graduated from college with that degree in human services, working a lot with addicts and alcoholics and so forth, people with drug addictions, ALDA, alcohol and other drug addictions. I'm reading a few of my notes here. I became a pastor in 2010. I started pastoring my own church in Kenosha. And I wrote a book called Dad, I Need You. It's a fatherhood book. And I actually started a program in the Kenosha County Jail that was named after that program. Dad, I Need You. Dealt with fatherhood, ALDA, and even as far as spiritual guidance and spiritual awareness for those that wanted it. Okay. So that went pretty good. Before then, I was even doing some outreach, jail ministry, and so forth. Once again,
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
So I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to make sure that we get to the questions from the board. So
Okay.
could you just briefly tell us why you're seeking a pardon and why
Okay.
the governor should grant you one, and then we'll open it up for other questions.
Okay, I apologize.
That's
the main
okay.
reason I'm seeking, I didn't know how far you wanted me to go back. A pardon is, right now, my wife and I, we own an income property, and I'd like to consider a real estate license. And I know the felony will glitch in that. I want to go back, maybe working part-time in the education field, and possibly even seek, as a pastor, I work in the community with some, politicians, other pastors, and so forth. I might even want to consider a position as a public official. Once again, I went over where I've been busy in the community and so forth, staying busy and things of that nature, doing positive things. And I'm a changed man. I no longer am a part of the problem. I take responsibility for all the crimes that I have committed. My wife and I just celebrated 18-year anniversary. So that would be a big part of why I would want to seek the pardon, is to move forward in different areas and avenues. If I may, real quick, I once drove semis and had a chance to drive for actually Walgreens and pharmaceuticals. But my boss put me in for it, but I got kicked back. They denied me because of my drug history and my felony charges. So that's a big crux of it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Mhm.
Board members, questions? Reverend Hancock.
You received a letter of support, a very strong letter of support based on your community involvement from the DA in Kenosha County. Now, Governor Evers will make the final decision, but how does that support from the DA make you feel?
You know what? I really feel I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to the DA for writing me a letter of support. We've talked, we've been involved with some community events and so forth, along with the previous mayor here in Kenosha. So I'm just, I'm grateful for that. I really appreciate that, especially coming from, a district attorney.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay, Mr. Mitchell, I think that covers it. Appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Okay, thank you. And once again, I apologize for going over.
That's okay.
I am a preacher, so you all have a great day and a great weekend. Okay.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Our last applicant of this afternoon is Nathan Yeten. Mr. Yeten.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, my name is Nathan Yetson. 21 years ago, when I was 19 years old, I was arrested for possession with intent to deliver THC over, I can't remember how many grams. And I was also a DUI second offense, and I was 19. I was raised in a very horrible situation with my mother and father, splitting up when I was very young. And my mother was a habitual drug offender, and she took me to places that I should have never seen before I was 6 years old. And once they got their divorce and I went to move to Stoughton, I had been in 5 different schools by the time I was 7 years old. And I was a total basket case. I had anger issues. I had wondering why my mom would have left me. I'm 40 years old and I don't even know what she looks like. It's been a burden on me and my family. I have a 6-year-old daughter that would have loved to know who her real mother was, but I can't even bring it up because of how well of a person she was. But moving on to that night, I had gotten drunk and I was selling drugs for a long time. I was 19 years old. I had been selling drugs probably for 5 years at that point. I probably felt untouchable. I had nobody, no parental figures. My father worked 18-hour days as a vice president of a bank. My stepmother was working 20 hours a day as a startup company of Wind River Financial. And I was left in the street, and for me, I felt they were more of a family than the family I had at home because of all the terrible things I had went through. So I believed in these people. Now, of a 40-year-old man, I seen how much of a horrible mistake that I had made and how horrible of a decision that was on my part, because I ruined a lot of people's, a lot of people got addicted to marijuana because probably of me, and that is, I have to own that. And, I participated, I was put on probation for 5 years. I did graduate that. I had went through, AA, NA, all the anger management, all those things as a kid, but it didn't work. I didn't accept it. And then I was 28 or 27 and I got into an accident because I was using drugs. And I was on my way to turn myself in because I was in the drug treatment program in Madison, Wisconsin, and drug court. And I was on my way to turn myself in, and I got into an accident because I fell asleep at the wheel and I caused an accident that cost $10,000 in damage and could have hurt somebody. And I hurt myself. You know, and after that day, and I spoke to the judge and I told him, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with the horrible life that I have caused and created, and I'm ready for my time. And I went to a halfway house for I think it was 4 months, and then I graduated with flying colors after I passed that. Um, I have been sober for over 12 years now, and I have created, I have purchased my own home in those 12 years of being sober. I purchased my own home. I started a family. I've been with my significant other for 15 years now. I have a 6-year-old daughter. And as of 6 months ago, 8 months ago, I started my own barbecue business, and we've been kicking butt. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate my life as it's going now than a pardon to erase that, not so much as a memory or of what I did, but to know that doesn't define who you are as a person. And I am living proof that I had done every drug you can imagine. And right now I don't drink, smoke, do any drugs for 12 years. And I created a life of my own where I can support my whole family, and it's an amazing feeling and an achievement. And I just hope that, coming from where I come from and came from, the dirt and the grime, and to be where I'm at in the woods, and I have my own home and my own business, I feel blessed as it is. And I really appreciate your guys' time, and I appreciate you listening to my story. And if you do have any questions, I will answer them as honest as I can remember. It was a long time ago. I was just a teenager. But go ahead if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Yeten. Anthony?
Can you just give us a little bit more information about what have you done for your sobriety? I know you had just kind of talked about like you've done different types of drugs and things of that nature. Just wanted to say, yeah, just want to know what have you done, treatment programs and things of that nature.
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to hold the phone up because it's really hard to hear you guys, but I'll put it back once you guys are finished talking. I had went through multiple 12-step programs after I turned 28, and I completed every step of that 12-step program. It took me a long time to get to the point to know who I was, and that I didn't need to be dependent on a substance to move forward and have a great time. And I went through multiple sponsorships, and I was almost to the point where I wanted to become a sponsor, but I felt that it would keep me in that life, and I wanted something totally different. So I mentally prepared myself for the worst, and I erased every single person from my past, and I haven't had any contact with anybody from Stoughton, Wisconsin for over 12 years, besides my father and my stepmother. I chose a life of sobriety, and I chose a life of the Lord. I pray every day. I seek his word and his guidance and the things that I should be. And ever since I've done that, man, my life has been wonderful, and this would just make my life even easier. So when I'm at a job or I'm doing, dude, I have really huge, I'm about to be on this huge, acceptance for my barbecue. And I would hate for somebody to say, well, he's a drug addict or he's a felon and he sold drugs and he's a bad person, when that's not who I am. That's who I was. And I admit that. And I took that with no lightly sentence, man. My life was not easy for the last 20 years. And I made a very, very negative into a beautiful, positive thing. And I hope that you guys can see that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Eric?
In the application, it's not required, but it is strongly encouraged that applicants submit letters of support, and it doesn't appear that you submitted any. Could you comment on why that was?
Yes, sir. I actually had a lady that worked with Mr. Evers, and she was going to write a letter for me, but then she moved to the state of Washington during the whole process. It was really crazy. We never got around to doing it, and that's the honest truth. She wanted to, and we just never made it work.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you, Mr. Yeten. I think that covers it from us then. I appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You guys too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, Mr. Yeten was our last applicant of the day today. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to move the board into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85 sub 1 sub a sub d and sub f for purposes of deliberations concerning specific cases before the board, for purposes of considering specific applications and considering financial, medical, social, and or personal histories of specific persons. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Nadia, do I have a second? Anthony, all in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed?